The Tale of Genji, Wakana, below. Murasaki Shikibu. Lonely also sad Tattoo Sincerity Sauce Destination Zumochi. Placemaking beginning Ken Morale World Akiko. It is also Akizome Governor but must reason is that small Chamberlain came wrote also that it is. Blatant terrible words appeared, in addition to what the mind is comforted only by the word of mouth. Such as another superficial wife is not think, was suffering and how would not be expected that can also dialogue with people misdirectly in a word to not put into this kind of person. Unlimited oversee Akizome equal desire thus to add Keguru to Roku join to have a sense of respect. Came to the harbor. Officials were also wreck young palace circles officials also to all Roku join is on the day of March of the ending. Although Doraemon oversee that are in the mood lazy was the also a troublesome to together and all. That this out thought unexpected may become a plaything of the gas if you look also at the flower to become a miss who come of went. On competition Toyomi was not likely in February at the Imperial Palace. Who in March are disappointed that the is useless in Goki month of Emperor of the Queen Mother is. Hosted a Playbo and Roku join tell heard that came together as an example. Left and right of the general is the son-in-law of your adopted daughter of the hospital. A Taro seed from which was a son, is of course. The number of participants in the competition to Lieutenant General of Kanofu of left and right. For them, but was determined that a small bow. In order to had come also a studentess people of large bow. Called and it was also their bout. Also in the palace circles officials led to the evening while fighting a win is divided into left and right everyone who can tricks of the bow. Also favors hurriedly blow evening breeze and chilly by garden whose heart cherry under the haze of spring at the end the day, including the chiefs. Officials who are already drunk. That the prize goods became served from the back of the people is not all mediocre goods. Only cause of it is not my best regards and take an expert in technology. Also let's enter the competition a little innocent poor people. It was down to the garden to say such. For the eyes of the general are you staring at Fu also mate is Akizome governor at this time. Which can imagine, if not exactly the cause. Is that the trouble? Scandals began to feel the anxiety and do not come happened. I felt that was also one of the musings to myself. The two men are very good that relationship. Directed Akizome for the general not only say that it is his brother's wife. Because it is harmonious young people friendship as they're each other for a long time. That the one is caught in some kind of agony. One person now is seen it has become Gataku be bear the poor. Doraemon governor himself is to look at your face in the hospital feel something similar to fear. Become embarrassed. That you are trapped in the wrong thinking is not what should forgive while my heart. Uncomfortable people even a little of that too? Or not by yourself you are determined to live able to get criticized from the people. The people are struck with the mind whether not much less so much oh sorry oh it. Also made one to be comforted. Was at least seen when that also a cat myself when again. Is not a partner as trouble of the human mind are told. Is lonely yourself oversee Akizome that at the very least has become such feelings wanna put the cat in buckwheat wearing shoein. It has been crazy heat day. Although I think want to steal the cat somehow. It even was also is the difficulty. Doraemon governor has tried to Magarasa yo the annoying mind that speak to go to the Nyogo sister place. Nyogo with a lot of ladies seems Mikoto staying deaf. Even when you are talking about, there was no such thing as show the face to the brother of Doraemon oversee. Although we even brethren is what is accustomed to this. And it has become to show you the house to those who are the unexpected your face to the outside is. That's strange. Doraemon Tokumo truly become a third party the inability positive when considered and it seems to be. But for a person with a devotion is not considered it as a disadvantage. Doraemon governor is in waiting upon the crown prince. Of course I think that there is no difference and so come similar because of the Arazarareru with your brother. but was to look up at you to your face eagerly. Crown Prince's gorgeous charms such as your none to, but became come to the elegantly gloss of your face that is only towards the noble cat of several to become a shepherd emperor of you to one that pious compatriots have gone divided. Here and there is not also become your cat of the crown prince. Also to see that walking in acute appearance. In Akazome supervision it has been recalled cat who is Miss. The available to you in the palace of Himamiya of Roku join is there a good cat? And was a rare face there then would you feel? I was able to kinda look. I said such a thing. Crown Prince in order to cats is a Ross a very favorite became a detail ask. I was there a china of the cat, which had been changed from those of the here produced all but you will find the same kind of thing. If you in the same way. Friendly people of nature, those things are sure you want a mosu a familiar cat in there you. Something like this temple is the only Akazome governor to be the move you your heart was the mosu. Later Crown Prince in order to become not pressed the desired from the hands of the people of Yoshikisha. Tang cat has been conceded from a woman Sanomiya. To say that is a beautiful cat as it was rumored. Observation in but was the palace of the people of the Crown Prince's lovingly. Doraemon governor is likely to be Crown Prince is certainly stock now become interested because in was tiv, and also the wreck after several days I want to know that of the cat. A still oversee Doraemon became your in your hand become Suzaku council love your special from the time was a child, is from getting to enter your hospital is to Yamanotera I understand maybe it a Crown Prince it had. In honor. While for your professor. Such as Harp. Doraemon governor is. I was Myri is also a lot of your cat. How would you, my acquaintance? I found the cat saying. Very lovely thought is to Akazome supervision had been patted by hand. Palace. In fact, that's cat good appearance but Imin is not attached to and it takes it from cat to the shy. However, not much inferior to this even a cat that I kept to this. It was so that with this cat, the cat is there one which is not so much the people, such as likes and dislikes. But there may be such wisdom to the wise cat, such as the Doraemon governor as I say also. If you have there is the more of it there are many in Soba. This please for a while Azukara Udemy. Was this kind of ask? In my mind as are we also feel that it is intended to be a foolish act. Eventually, Doraemon governor is able to get the cat woman Sanomiya as desired. Was allowed to sleep at buckwheat well as night. Was Governor Akazome to spend the time to caress the cat and on. People, in Shuin with bad cat Doraemon oversee well accustomed. Or come to the wrapped around the kimono hem and whether you become a body to be or come to sleep closer to this person. Doraemon governors this cat sincerely dry wants to become so. Next to that contains looking at the face while the pensive, while stroking the crow's cute voice and urine. And by little who'll treat you to love Doraemon supervision was smile. I thou it can play a keepsake in the hand of love Hawaburua people Nunito rather than sound. Becomes orchid. I wonder if this is also pre-production of promise. When the say while looking at the face. The governor Doraemon and finally the cat is put lovable rather than to the flashlight Hata. Pensive. It is like wife. It is that funny suddenly your cat, not being favorited better was indifferent to those it was whisper in suspicious once with. There is Seth of return takes you from the crown prince. Doraemon governor is not to give back. Had to own friend takes in the things of your deposit. Shoji of Tamakazura of left gen. Wife had many brothers of love in the right general than for the truth of the brothers. In people of gorgeous nature with a brilliant deal de foo in harmonious even when subjected to the visit of the source general. In order to tell us intimate as the old general also is more of Yoshiki building trying to uchi Tokyo with less shame compared to such as not feeling that satisfaction of quirky brotherhood was of being obtained from this person. Left gen. Went deference to Tamakazura along with the month and day. The other before Mrs. Shoji was the only Mrs. Far gone to divorce. because was born from the wife is just a boy. Left Gen. Think things less than that much. But it is that it once put to the hand and taken back the princess of Maki Pillar. The temple, the consent control of Shikibu's her grandfather also boss and not. At least when this princess just I went to a marriage that cannot be in from people so they are. So come to say, Emperor, you're made to have a deeper love in this house of the uncle. To be a transgression you to be sojo from the temple where fu not be able to you. It is to come to the gorgeous your life from the original. Roku join. In sight of dominance of following the Daijo Daijin house. Became come to obtain also the world of prestige. From left generals were also people in the future serving as a guru has been promised. Shikibu, lord of the temple of your grandson, woman, is of the princess is the eldest daughter of the left general. People are looking heavy suitor but as extends to the already large number come throughout various people's hands. The house was still not even Fu, which is selection in whom the son-in-law, his mind was completely Shirazugao temple as the unexpected also attracted the mind as much as cats you think to become Doraemon directed by heart and if to left before Mrs. General is also pathological now. Continued a dismal living. In order not to meet to be efforts to create a cheerful atmosphere for the young lady. Princess is lonely. Stepmother to hear through the grapevine I had a longing to life the first time. These are bright daughter from. In Hyobu lord of the house is also your single now. The opponent became eagerly you want is taken to all other turn to the results to be easy. But respectability was also become your ashamed. Interested in this princess made to your feeling. And you offer a marriage proposal. Shikibu lord of the palace. I believe so, that the daughter I think the important issues in Miyazuke as the first. Followed it be nice to be married to the temple we are. Ordinary officials and is of that reliable from to get married is a humble attitude of parents we. Wish it for the happiness of the daughter thought to. Quote. So it says in the became mere consent without being not pressed also worries too much courtship period. Hyobu lord of the temple has been made to think you also as not trivial things this casually a determined way. Not because I was despised and difficult opponent. Also can you be to wait for the elimination of the story in the extended loose. It was to become your so through go. Shikibu lord of the temple were the sports to take care of the house of the son-in-law. Miya is made to have a queen of even several people. The Miyazuke. But it should so come to learn by experience to were often be a struggle by the results of the marriage. Also such a son-in-law for the beloved of your Magun na Kashizuki it became the beginning you. The mother to become a pathological woman in accordance with the passage of time. His father is none the poor because princess looking shabby to say that a child that does not conform to the thereof is to say you and the like. Or made defeating the hand by yourself to living room decoration of the new husband and wife. Also was to be or your orders. Hyobu lord of the temple is made to come once loved just a head wife became lost you. In order to become come hope wanna get a bride that is similar to the person. The princess. Not bad, but similar perhaps because that was a look that there is no place. It was to show you a troublesome seal to become come through. Shikibu Sir Palace sported disappointment. It is a sick mother Kun can have tan the marriage does not seem to think of this daughter when that is a normal mood. Had decided to finally those unpleasant life. Father of the left general also heard this story. Or not became a result of his we feared of myself. Because I think because it is the temple like amorous person. Was the son-in-law that he did not favor since the beginning troubled had tan with is that it was. While Tamakas are misses listening to your mercy of the thinness of the temple as a misfortune of the stepdaughter. If he had met with such eye to the marriage if to the people of Roku join also. Be a disgrace even to the father of the family I thought I was to become. And no longer be willing to mourn the fate that has become the wife of the left general. It was sympathetic as possible to the stepdaughter. attempt to good people. The Hyobu, lord of the temple to their maiden era, did not think even a little, but it's better to smoke, it will carry only of passion there. Is Tamaka's a wife, is being the thought or not to the embarrassed since then come in contempt that has become a mediocre couple and left general. I think his temple there is to be your son-in-law to the stepdaughter. Sunny was to also feel that better. Strange to think that it would so come to hear how things myself. Costume of the princess, which was also newly married from this wife, was the other care. In the Fu not know as things like the weather a grudge against the previous wife. The eldest son, but before Mrs. Shoji you are in the second son gathered the favor ice or even remember the friendship. To Miyaki of Shikibu sir, who bent the nature of large wife is have one person. This person will always hate anyone that is not stop Nanashiken. What that prince was mean that important tresses is the wife of only one person. For something that would be to supplement that cannot be flashy life. When to the backbiting has entered the lord of the temple of your ear Hyobuin. Here unpleasant. Even their own game is that did not stop the love of the other even at a time when there was a beloved wife to yourself. Until this terrible resentment word became to think you and had not heard. Is just a recruit can be oboshi meshi miss more deceased wife. Was often the day so come to a pensive lonely jitai. In the case it came followed by even the state 2 years but say now. Just went finished is a couple of it only pale relationship. Years overlap. Emperor became 18 years since the Asobasa the throne. Lonely life is yourself in that there is no child to become a future of Tenshi. At least become a carefree about herself and to be able to be all the time come across it in love. Ones of their own. Want to enjoyable life is as a private person. This emperor well from previously was the begone. But were suddenly to perform the abdication when it was Asobasa the heavier your illness. Seijin but had disappointed by Tanta be Asobasa abandoned you a reign of prime. Because crown prince also become another adult. Nor did the unusual special even at your place. I saw the unwavering Omio. Daijo Daijin did not leave the jitai out the resignation of Kanpaka positions. Because wise from ASCII of life emperor even is become to leave for your place. Myself reached Rokyo there is no little such regrettable feelings to Kaken. It must have been said. Was also the work of Kanpaka left general as turned to Daijin. Since Nyogo of your mother Kun had died without waiting for the reign of Shinti. Even if in the above you in the position of the later. It looked lonely supposed to be on the back of the other things. The first of the prince on now was birth our 6th article Nyogo become your to crown prince. Who is the thing should be so also new. But it was of being deaf surprised to come if the family's happiness is to appear at hand. Move to the left general to leave the order right general as also serves as a Dainagan. It look this person is also happiness. Roku joined as your in Rice and Institute became your abdication, was regrettable to Oboshi Meshi is that there is no heir in Gokakoro. The fact is that a new crowned prince that your pedigree of Roku joined. But you're during your reign of Rice and Institute as was spent with and without agony. But examples are fornication of the secret of the hidden. This control system in its place became doomed so as not to follow until the end choose it. Roku joined to think you lonely. Was only major impression without dull in because just your mind nor that sports your reveal. Mother Nyogo of crown princes your of emperor turned many born a prince who, butterflies had just become more and more deeply. By once again of Mr. Wong person is supposed to become Otashi to later. When it becomes to know because I have been in 3 generations there is public opinion that seems unexpected trivial tired something at this time. Nakamai of Reason Council earlier even if there is strong your support of Roku joined in case this became my you feel the kindness of more and more hospital sporting recalls the past and it's been take the position of the later. As Emperor of Rice and Council was Asobasa your expectations. Supposed to become can you also like Miyuki without even your cramped you think. Is also basa here and there and gyoyu happiness. What you fun has your circumstances today no way was being found you. Emperor became to have a deep interest in Himomiya of your sister so come to Roku join. But is of greater respect for the public paid to that person. It should be noted that in advance in response to your butterfly Roku join as wife of more than purple misses it did not become. Years stand occur delicate friendship dear queen in the temple in accordance with the although in the Roku joiner met in an ideal calm air. Purple misses. The other me I withdrew from many of these out of residence. I would like to have a quiet faith life. Life I have become even the age. Such as had also experienced the fact that these kind of things from that. The other none please do not do forgive made it to. And, although to talk to sometimes seriously hospital. I is absurd. Such reproachful things do you think. Although if the thing you want to do is my own. Or I miss you remain after. Sad world of attitude that unlike when you are with me I is supposed to feel they just remain the status quo because there's a concern that still will come the day of my execution someday. You let two things after that. Quote, hospital only and the like is made to you to say. Became come interfere with the aspirations of his wife. Nyogo now also be revered queen as truth of the mother. Akashi misses fact that without losing the humility become a person of only the guardianship of hidden. Nyogo appeared rather Tanamashiku for the future. Nun-kun even if the day has often shed tears of cried for joy. Had become a sample of a happy old woman with eyes wiped sores. Nyogo to pilgrimage to Omoida, a play-gun to the god of Sumiyoshi is opened previously box that had come sent a priest, but was examined promises to god conditions. Write a lot of it quite extensive in it had been set up. It is such that the prayer of always Nagahisa reunion with Kagura of year after year of spring and autumn was to unexpected can of execution if not become the circumstances of today's Nyogo. But the sentence see the academic and sophistication of the priest also is to scribble. Known to clear that will exceed nor God Buddha. When will why such a hope of castles were built in the heart of such a recluse? If love of depth to the descendant seemed, was also feel, not hash more than in God or Buddha. Only was Genwa the appearance to this world for a while made to his grandfather rather than a person of average, appear to like or was not in the old street monk laden with merit. Occurred mind to all the priest of Akashi to Nyogo it was. Without is that this time is to do still of Nyogo. Was the standing of the Kyoto in a format that you bring to the pilgrimage of Roku join. Although it became promised you to God in Summa Akashi eras was fulfilled one after another. The hereafter is also long and is followed by good luck. The Myojo of God by becoming to see the prosperity of the clan descendants forget Roku join to not be as of being Asobasa your pilgrimage with also Queen of Purple is a gorgeous line, but to become a country of the squeamish as simple as the fact is became to be avoided. If there is a form of this be your identification unexpected must be provided always up to a certain place as the journey is also the big naturally it was. Noble also, except two of the ministers all, was being in attendance on dance people of Shinto each the good of appearance in the next Masaru or Mamorufu was the further been taken to align the stature. Defeated by Tan rather it was also wind flow Kimi go by. Sagaku, who is also as the expert to be used in extraordinary festival of stone Shimizu and Kamo was more tailored. Was added from the other two men met in person who has become famous as the good of the music in the Kanofu it was. Also I went to the many people responsible for the better of Kagura. Court, hospital. Also the palace circles officials of the crown princes present in the being in attendance on by. All your instruction was in the myriad. Delicate in doing were officials of the horse. Settle. Horse soy samurai, Zujin, was also glittering matrix until the dress of small samurai. In your car of the hospital is to come put together a purple wife and Nyogo. The next car was riding Fu, unexpected, conspicuous, and Akashi, wife and the mother of a nun is. It was the Beijo, the nanny of Nyogo, of old acquaintance to it. Wives of the car, who of the 5 units with his wife, Nyogo of the 5 cars, was belonged to the Akashi misses in 3 cars. The decoration and clothes with flashy taste differently in each stood in the public eye. The Akashi of Nun-kun came together. Let's accompanied by favoring Nun-kun in this time of pilgrimage. Elderly hard to be enough to the satisfaction of. And the hospital is not more came to you started to say, the beginning Akashi misses. Because now I know your pilgrimage become a Lord Hospital and the Queen. I because taken to come in mixed and you will be painful also my position. After which Mr. Nyogo was Nasu, another stage your career let's happy to pray just to us at that time. Quote, to say, but it had been kept a Nun-kun. The old man as they came softly joined the line with confidence Kokoro Boso once without that liveth. In the long lived up to it. Then the Queen and Nyogo that it is the darling of fate seems to be appropriate that. Akashi of the mother and the good result of the previous generation of daughter did not also be looked bright as this day, because was that of October of 20 days, when even Kuzuno creeping in memorial fence in turns red and yellow, was a longer beach that autumn leaves of miscellaneous trees under the Matsubara is not also said to be beautiful and only the sound of the waves fall. A full flood of China music snugly went choreo more of the music of Higashi Asobi than the music is like this. Seemed to suit even the sound of the waves even in the hearts of people. Stains on the body change the sound you hear in the sound elsewhere in the whistle blowing under. The shofu ringing in the high treetops. Shofu time signature to match the koto was soft and lonely interesting than to hit the drum. Mixed green pattern and pine small memorial Kuromo take wearing of court musician. When artificial flowers of holding up but seems to have together in fall of flowers. The song of required of the child was coming to an end. Young officials who is applied to the dance of the field take off the shoulder who of formal wear. Rouge from under the black jacket. Suddenly issued a sleeve under Kasane cap. Then those of the human figure with a view of the red broke the paw under when the shower was wet. Little also. Be forgotten autumn colors it is Matsubara many seemed as Kakaru chili. Was entered to show only the passage of only a dance was very interesting to insert the ear of. White hook was ogi to its flashy appearance. Hospital became come to reminisce the old days. That there was the unfortunate date in the middle also seems like that in front of the eye. Hospital human grave also have to talk about it was Miss Oboshi Meshi the Daijo Daijin that left the Kanpaka hospital that became your way back to the car to a second car. Someone or fu this and contact the pine up coming through the gods of Sumiyoshi to know the mind. Now do we have to have I wrote a song flashlight paper called Nun-kun had wilted as it was struck. Be attached to see the gorgeous spectacle of today. That you did not dodge 10 of time became Otashi of Genji Akashi. Nyogo is retrospect sad I think that was the time which was an infant. That you are blessed with fate new. And also good people went to the mountain also misthink is to be suppressed feelings spilling tears. A living whether or not a certain shake year a Nagasa sweet today ya no orchid sumino. I wrote, and your reply becomes late as I think unsightly, it had to have a song that remains feel. It is attached to see the signs of what previous zoo forget as ne Sumiyoshi of God long ago. Dor also is also himself. The party is was revealed overnight in song and dance. 20 days much white and overlooks the sea in the light of the moon. Felt even cold and the color has changed from yesterday of Matsubara frost put thick. Was a sabarake of Yashiro may the shim pleasantly body. Even though accustomed to play in G-tie, I was the queen of the purple did not like to leave too much sightseeing outside the first time. Also outside of the journey of the Kyoto experience. All of that seemed interesting. Deeply put frost night pine sumino as chipping of god upcoming cotton kazura kamo. It is a work of purple wife. Looking thought the morning of snow that sang the Kira to the mountain, Devono no Takamura. God the festival was worshipped was reliable for the also think that the frost of Kano have been proof. Nyogo. Deep night of frost shake cotton over attachment to Torimotaru Sakari leaves in the hands of God. People. Your Naketsukasa. Tokiko is whether the cotton outfit high put frost is indeed Ichijiru out God's sign. It's many other songs from the people but were poems. I think that there is no need to be written by was omitted. People in the work of a man singing of these if you were ish literature who also. Usually that bad can then hero. There is no such thing as touch the heartstrings is released from chateaus of pine. Finally the frost by the time the morning light climbed pointing deeper. Without knowing even its own face. Which came to the surface of Kagura for the sake drinking all night. In Yashirome you are going out also another bonfire. Still in each other to celebrate waving hooray hooray and Sakari. This blessing is more and more spectacularly future and will always appears as a form on top of. Your clan of the hospital was of being imagined. Look at the night that was very interesting and desirable and there at the time of the 1001 nights that went dawn casually. Young people were disappointed that like a wave to go the beach unexpected must leave here. Of car placed become all the way to long column. Woman costumes that looked from the open to the wind of Tarajinu but seemed stretched a brocade of flowers in Matsubara. The color has changed by the rank of a man of the people and the full dress. Continue to carry the beautiful everything to your car of the hospital as to wipe us was seen very envious. In Akashi vegetarian product lined with dark gray of the paper to Mr. of the Minute also Osaka. Orishiki none. Saw that as conveyed to the families the same level of the hospital. I think that a woman with a great luck, etc. And they were in the companion. When it becomes to come is devoted to the shrine. And many people to protect the troublesome thing of portable. But was did not become also can you enough the middle of sightseeing. Keto has been an interesting journey free. But that could not be allowed Izukara the priest became the turning on and off to the mountains in. This fun trip hospital wore things less than obo-shimeshi. It would be impossible until then. In fact the old priestesser would not have been that unsightly if we are involved in this line. Because the people of pretentious fantasy is to have been entirely realized. Everyone mind as has been the lessons that should have high variety of topics become in Akashi of people as a hill at the back. Was also popular words that of a happy person that Akashi none you. Kimi of Daijo Daijin how so am I before shaking the sigh of the game of backgammon is. Akashi of none like Akashi of none like. And it casts a spell. Pope is also boss of vegetarian and working Buddha. Not also boss in nothing of interference and such as that of politics. Only the old days of your life when it comes to pick up the Miyuki of spring and autumn was in. There also reveal the figure on top of your mind. Is Obo-shimeshi the woman Sanomiya still a concern? Roku joined a scene as guardians on the format. Became entrusted you protection from the inside to the emperor. So a woman Sanomiya has become raised you in the position of the two dishes. The more the number of provoking obtained fudo is not has become more and more gorgeous you about her herself. Whereas purple misses continue to increase in the force along with the temple is something like this. Years of one of his wife. Even as their own is losing a weakness at the moment with only your love of the only institute in force. The things that your aspirations will also decline eventually. But is like to act accordingly before that do not meet when these lonely and one of the now was to have always wanted. A refrain that is seems to fu one to can it is not issued frequently to the mouth to. Hospital has been osoryoku obo-shimeshi that until the emperor not only the pope is in your interest. From your heart that Myra first said a rumor to indifference. And that so come to there by now. Is he hear it and had just become about half in half in. Queen to the reasonable thing and that began to come also serve as I was as lonely day while I was sad, but the surface had to calmly as before. The woman Ichinomiya that was born next to Crown Prince Purple Wife had I would like to grow your, to put you to the hand. Night of the loneliness of your absence of the hospital to the enjoyment of the care was also to have been comforted. Your grandson of the temple which people all very well as cute wife is than you think. Hanachi Sato wife is envious that are immersed in the care of even your Magamiya play Akashi misses. Also Purple Wife. Love was welcome to hand in entreaty the Wakagimi that was born in the maid of honor of the left. Gen. Brought up was. This grandson Mr. Clever and the beautiful child was in hospital also your Kawaigari. Hospital but is better seen as a small number of the son. It seems so come to the satisfaction by thus widely your grandchildren to prosperity. Udaijin is by the old days or more to serve your intimate look up to hospital. Tamakazura also already become a middle-aged wife. When something is taught there is also Purple Wife came to visit to Roku join also familiar deep traffic in addition to there was all the time. Himamiya only became come still in such unreliability like a girl. Also in the youthfulness today. Hospital became now you know concern to Nyogo you've completely made in the other court people as to Obo Shimeshi as this Himamiya young daughter was the Sokam by tilting the power to the education of the people. Pope of Suzaku Council but as being Obo Shimeshi just Kokorobasoku as became less longer your numeration. Well now you think you want to be not neglected the other. Such is that of this world. Only the woman Sanomiya you again play I wanted to be. Since the remainder of mine died in this state is that there is no regards. It became Yari refers you to come temple is visited and without being very much. Hospital also. It is that of your most it must be relied your ask proceeds from here even if there is no such. Seth, because he doth become to wait much less to this. Are you sorry will not run? You say it in the. It became come to think whether I will make with the opportunity to what way. Not regards and shabbily as things like gently to the waiting upon without anything. It has become I think you want to have a well-equipped your delight to people appearance the Pope. Since the Pope was to become your 50 next year. The moth Wakana are trying worship the hospital from Himamiya is made to your idea. To not press the shitaku of Hofuku to be put out to the fuse of Ho which was attached to it now. Because it is your banquet ready to be in all devotion changed in ordinary things. It was supposed your orders to be paid the struggle from now. Because the music from the old days were those who love you in particular. Has become come as you try to select of the excellent dance of the people. To the ease of the people. 2 children under the Udaijin house. Also in addition to 3 people the lady-in-waiting belly of the children of the general. Became come to the other your grandson also to everyone palace circles working for more than 7 years of age. And there, still prince of the previous ceremony of attaining manhood of Hyobu Lord of the Temple. The addition of princely sons. Your institute of many children of relatives earlier than today. Courtier our dancing hand was also ready for a lot of songs trimmed good appearance calling that. The excellent tricks. Experts its people to become a teacher in order to strive to practice I think very sunny a case. Even if the even more effortless the better of the dance had been incredibly busy. Although the woman Sanomiya's became come to was your hand of the father of the hospital the Kodo of practice. In order to become still your move to Roku joined in girlhood. And whether the arts has become is in what way the Pope is anxious in Obo Shimeshi. I want to hear the harp of the sound of the house when it came to hear. That tricks just think the finishing. Heard even to the court be made to come to say. Must gay by no means trivial your Tanami to be said so. I to become play you come to the place of the Pope what I also want to hear the very hard. It is the fact that it was so and so came transmitted also to Roku join. Hospital is. If it is also taught from their own in the case, also something until now. But the quality in is not has become to hiv. But still much tricks excellent. When it is what my heart without you ask. Became Seth and by all means play to. should not be supposed to produce embarrassing results. Quote, so I say to the then became the beginning you avid koto of the professor to the woman Sanomiya. Two things has changed. The three songs also long for the sound of change by the climate of 4 seasons of Omagari. Since to teach a special mystery, such as that which is not must change how to play the by the time when the warm air cold there was. But, although initially was fu not news, became a well to contact will became well in your mind. Noon is hampered in the abundance of sounds of the entry and exit of people. And shake the bale, holding the delicate taste of sound very for inconvenient to become the research ito. Untends quietly professors from at night is to say you that it should. Is to ask for approval of the Queen Hospital will be to your tamari kiri much toward the palace of the temple. It was also Basa take care of the morning and evening of the lesson. Because even Koto Queen was did not become to teach you to Nyogo. Rare Hikyoku at the time of this lesson also expect that will become your play. Nyogo it may also be that difficulty free at last to give some time it was of the kitai. But with each other to have 2 people you another prince. Also because I have been to about 5 May pregnant. A lot of ritual season is the came hope you free to say that you wanna withhold. November is in the Sashioi be your reminder that a sudden from the court is back into Nyogo were the hard left the Roku joined to the fun of these days of ease of sound. Why had also Urameshiku I think the hospital and why did not you tell us in his own? Usually a hospital to become the most favorite winter month changed, or other by the ensemble in the musical instrument to become a play Koto songs worthy of the moonlit night with snow. Arakusai and the wife it became come and have fun. Such as busy especially pair of queen in addition to any of jealousy the end of the year. Nyogo, being chased in the spring of Shitaku for the temple who. I want to listen carefully to the sound of the harp in such evening that became a peaceful mood of spring. He had said that such was also change year. First Pope the gorgeous year moth from the emperor at the beginning of supposed to become accepted, and is not my best regards to Sasha in his oboshi meshi. Pine Hima Mia and time of 10 several days in February with just a little will you define the higa of the day that is. Ease of people. Dance hand the day to avid the Shitakiko there were many coming all the time to Roku join. In your heart that a pair of queen wishes to ask always. The people of 13 want the event of only woman to ensemble the bale and villa once. You do not have the things the more innocent attitude to say that the modern landlord for my family. Our music. I'm not much of a music person. I would like through to all the tricks. To the moon and to the world of experts from the time of the boy. And also to the landlord our music and the noble teachings thing that beg for. But not to think that the people with the arts should be especially respected. Then that era also currently in the worst the quality of the people to do the music. I think the trick is in the superficial. People who play only you from is that the person is no longer to the training much less as such as Koto would be not much. Quote, and when the hospital is in your words. I smiled temple innocently, became come and willing or came to his tricks or so much recognized. Another 21, although become yes you into, not missing childish place, and only your appearance that was seen was beautiful, because you so come not omanakakara long. It must be omanakakara as able acknowledged it became a fine adult. Door in to touch the thing was becoming come tell me. In fact, wives with such good people unexpected may have been the person who is even in a variety of rumors and less Sodoma of becoming come was wondering. The 20 days too much of January tepid breeze blew any more compelling Haruna. Garden plum of Roku joined also became the prime. Other flowers tree may look about has been such a force of tomorrow. Dew was over haze. It will be crowded with Shitaku of the banquet is not until in February. It is also because also it is uncomfortable seems to be of the preliminary investigation at that time that only here. It is now out of. May leave the meeting over there. The hospital became a teaser. Queen become your safe for the main room. Seekers that wanted today were many, but people other than those made the people an acquaintance of the main room was left. Is a people who are a little year said only a fine wife who went along to his wife. Dojo child nice face was carried out for people. Dress the color of the sweat and cherry on top of the vermilion. Is underpaw woven thickness of the thin color. Table skirt with a float pattern. The skin to put the beautiful of the strike eyes of mallet. The also graceful figure of only it was not selected. Towards the parlor of Nyogo even each other is passed to a new decoration of the spring. The figure of the wife who was doing the delicate were remarkable. Dojo is the color of the sweat and of rouge. A table skirt of china aya. Paw the china of bright yellow, was the appearance of brocade suit. The dojo of Akashi misses allowed a dress like not conspicuous. Two people who was wearing a light pink. The color of the cherry tree is two people. In paw that everyone is under the blue to gray. Which also struck eyes of the finished I had been to put down the things good. Because was also the day when gathering Nyogo and wives and more of Himamiya. Clothing of dojo became the place you in particular so well. The color of the clothes of Ao Makoto. By the color of the sweat and of willow. The like of red purple paw was a common favorite. There was no doubt that as can somehow nobly remove the fusumako of the parlor close to the edge. Lady our seats had been to across the kicho. In the center of the chambermaid is the throne of the hospital. The roll of whistle of today's beat matching is to say you try to call the child. The child of near the top that gave birth to the Tamakazura wife in the third son of Udaijin house. Is the roll of the show. Of the flute to the eldest son of the left gen. Had been placed to the edge ordered the roll. Shit one of the players been laid all. Musical instrument of your treasured of the hospital to the seat of been dealt been issued from. Such as a bag of kan, nashiki. Akashi Mrs. Biwa, the queen of the purple wagon. Nyogo is 13 koto is stringing. Palace. Such as still name instruments and will be your cumbersome. It became not dealt you to the tune and once you play attempt because so come play hero. Hospital is. The harp is not necessarily loosen the stringing of the koto. Because of such things the location of the koto-ji is easy to move when combined with other instruments, but must remain in the knowledge from the beginning. It is difficult to tighten enough by the force of the woman because it allow. Still this is my mate to ask the general. And boys who are in charge of beat also because there is also a point I cannot be trusted with. Too small. Quote. While becoming the comedian. In general here. To become your calling. Wives were ashamed. Because other than Akashi wife is what is your disciple of everyone institute. Hospital also general becomes comprehend the workmanship and so is not to flame to hear. Nyogo the other person ensemble also specifications in front of His Majesty from here out it will be played kamoke because accustomed, but not difficult one such thing as a wagon. Have never been decided only creative of the talent is necessary. Embarrass the picker of the woman Sanuka. Although the string music of spring is intended, not muskuka match the all nicely the other. And whether the wagon will not be such as not yuka become well together it became common also. Sympathy even loss of picker. Left general is rather better as sunny. The fu used attentive than tachiao in any case of the concert. Superimposed a clean fix well so men's clothes and sense. Still that Takeshi Maru sleeves time this man of Masugata well equipped to not forget came appeared. Had already day late. It feels good early spring of the twilight of the sky plum under the flowers bloomed in ladenness. Snow seen in the old year. It looked weather invites nightingale lost blown every time attending as a gentle breeze to help. Incense and scents also of plum blossom smell in the bamboo blind. The better from near the bottom of mistakes koto of the previous koto is to put out a little. It's rude, but I want you to the articulation a good look at the degree of interference of the stringing. So, if that cannot get to come to others, when would you say that? Gen. reverently receive the Koto hospital, and to try as it is to return without is to try playing the entire place the standard of the pillars of the origination of the stringing to the sound of Hitokoshi adjustment is made to look. It should be not putting on airs, only one playing is of put a tone. The hospital has become your say. I am not with you. Such days are at a self-confidence mixed with I somewhat but sound the meeting of today. Gen say to refrain from. Although Mostum wanted is drawn to the only music woman. What is said to have fled would be disgrace. Hospital became a comedy. In general is in accordance with the oysters the tone. Put only into mistakes it. The sound of the whistle that small people corresponding to your grandson in match blow with a beautiful reappearances there is still childish. But it was a sound that seems of a promising future. Became the ensemble finally done so oysters alignment, in which none seemed interesting. Biwa appeared to be a good expert. Had built a crystal clear sound repellent Tsukai that Kamasabi. Although General had a special interest in the wagon. It is old, in a soft, is charming Sumoto. The sound is unusually gorgeous of time to write on the other hand. Even a little bit to play with Matarashiku of landlord flashy sound that is not as good. The mind of the General and whether or not there is such a how to play even wagon was surprised. Deeply hospital by vegetarian traces laden with appeared well became think you pleased Mrs. Vin. Also Vasa the peace of mind. 10 3-stringed instrument koto is a feature that brings a delicate sound between my fit up the sound of other instruments. Sumoto of Nyogo was heard in a very beautiful luster even in the koto as compared to the other appeared to be unexpected trivial of sophisticated tricks. And because was more of around the year of our young Keiko prime. Certain how to play as being maybe other instruments as symphonic to sound. General and those that have been progress even I thought. The people sang the song taking the time signature. Hospital also our voice sometimes become addition we ring the fan seemed also interesting than in the past it seems to have become a little no finesse to your will. Gen. Even people of Mio. Music according to Yuku Dandruff of the night, spree of the frontier went made. Because the moon was timed slightly out late. Lanterns were lit there to hear it in the garden. If the hospital is to your peep the seat of the house. Your appearance petite and the people seemed to only overlap beautiful clothes. Gorgeous rather than your face. Just aristocracy seems to come with your beauty. Like the branches of February 20 days around the willow is showing a green little buds. It is thought whether we disturbed a Hikazi of nightingale it was. It's so come wearing an elongated color of cherry blossoms. But hair is also it nearing spill from the left from the right is like a thread of willow. This is what the hospital and will be those that best woman figure but was to become your looked. There is a place which is visible along the beauty shining one stage now in the same kind of gloss of appearances to Nyogo, to the intercession of the body of some of graces, of the time when Sakiko bore was wisteria flowers are blooming followed from spring to summer, and as the flavor of a sabarake was superior unmatched in other hospital came to see. This person is not pregnant. Because it was annoying time overlap month to the other pretty. But after having undergone icer leaning to Kyosoku painfully been impelled to before the harp. Not the back of high body the stretch a little. Usually the size of a pity that are closer to Kyosoku. Was mercy or is also the feel you want to give to make a low one. The beautiful side of it took the figure of light cage suspenseful to the hair on top of the jacket of red plum. Purple wife looked. This is thin in a dark color of the small uchigi. You think that the one calf, a spectacular hair that accumulates on the loose surplus to the hem of repeated elongate rouge. An even sloppy appearance size. Is hit is radiated from this person a beauty queen. Such as those filled with light as of a yoshoku enough not hit yet to say that the cherry tree likened to flower. Although such people Akashi miss has been mixed and should of course pales. In people with only cosmetic unexpected is also likely to do so. Look good of intelligent seems goods. Wearing a small uchigi, I think that the moegi are down to the elongated thick fabric of the color of willow. Zarawa Shiku Anato well feel even figure deprecating with a simple saying of thin did not appear even a little. Hugging Biwa not sit well in the center of the choreo nishiki edge that took laying of a blue background. What at the apex of cleanly with repellent on top of the bale is beautiful feeling received of more than hear the sound the method comprising B. In May of Tachibana of flower branches also folded with even the real seemed. Both heart sign in general of the ones of which seems to be humble was just attracted. When the queen of the beauty of purple I think that there is no difference in further added than the evening of old Nowake. Just as not mountain roar chest in just the one thing. It fate for the woman Sanomiya now was a little kind to myself. And I think that was able to see this person as its own. Was Kuchio Shika also cowardice of its own? From Suzaku Council it is often shown that you feel. Even though I think that although there was also implicitly that became said. The mind does not even move about knows that good looks watertight was attracted to the queen it was the the queen, which is located in a place with a distant intervals as unexpected anyone can imagine. Apart from such as the unforgettable emotion, not Deki only once at least get admitted to the Queen of Purple just favor with the yourself is thinking of with each other to agony. I not cherish is such a seriously have heart, is a person who can is possible to suppress the thought. Night dandruff and seems yuku coldness began to up the one way month as cans in the wind. It's Oborzukio of spring is not news. I also think that is when the music and the insects sound of these night yuku drifted up together. Because the fall of goodness. The hospital became Seiyu for the general. The bright moonlit night of the autumn. But you will hear through clear. And go anything of sound and music. Toka sky, such as tailored made too clean. The toka of the dew of flower color. I also feel that not to taste the deep music can focus you. Again on the night of the more I get hazy moon from the clouds no news of spring. You hear the yuku up. Such as a quiet whistle sounds sprouting. It seems weather good to enjoy the music itself. The woman there is a wordly enmu the spring. But it seems that at most of the condition of all things fit nicely will be considered as limited to the evening of the spring. But when the general says it that you do not say to assertive, because of such that even were undecided in the ancients. There is no reason that can correct criticism in our power of the last days. Just a song of autumn of law then more of the music. In the spring of Lu only that they are placed under the song is probably because there is a reason. Such as you said now. Quote, hospital was Seth. Also, I what you think of people who have been with the current excellent musicians. But it seems become small to be listening to the people who are ordered to play in the case. Such as your events. Such as court seems master. I wonder if the well. Such as trying to study diligently is not enough for seniors. Even magic to the meeting of music of just a woman like today. Does not seem to like there is a person you think that the exceptional stand out. But in recent years I have been holed up in each show without going to anywhere. But my forensics was accidentally polarized bad. It is a pity that not any way of music who are allowed to remember the inspiring. What is Geigoto is also depending on the location, which is ends is intended to show the workmanship that unlike Hero. To people who are singled out in these days of music of the play in the most sunny place of the court, then that this women is whether there is a point that I think is inferior to there than I thought I would like it for bad head I might be in that Mosu bullshit. Now the world of those who are there also because I do not know when the thriving of the old days of music or Doraemon governor of the wagon, Bull Raven Hyobu lord of the house like the Pippa. We also have to do with virtuosity. But we startle in your performance of this evening of everyone. Would you like there then even a large thrill to have thought lightly and my is also much of your play is beginning. Roll of the song thank truly Niku mind work terribly. wagon is I have thought that the standing of clever sound like lead all of the musical tone only by Daijo Daijin. But also there's a difficult trick that seems to be not other persons enter through one step two. The frontiers was there in tonight's things are special. Pretty did. Jen praised. It's not something of enough to be praised in such largest words. Good at your smile appeared on the face of the hospital. It seems to me is not a disciple of Sok one can first bill only I'm sure were those not the tricks of the disciples were folded the bone to me excellent of nature that I discovered in unexpected places am picker from. Although I used to quite impressed, it seems to have also advanced in that time. Quote, thus I have heard of will to say you into all your own gong, etc. Wives had been laughing or butt each other the elbow. I know the depth of the back and begin to learn things, all the tricks. I stuff you can not hardly able to learn as much as possible of satisfaction on their own. But because there's a person with that much heat to the gay little now, practice even a little happy with themselves to be laden with. But I will finish with it. I think that not only is a little rampant thing called kodo, heaven and earth can also be moved if studies thoroughly the tricks. The heart of the demon also relieved. Also received a fun person who had to sneak and be career also poor people. Become a wealth of personal history. To receive the respect of the world we such that there is examples are also things. Between the beginning was transmitted of this gay. This learned people are going to all long foreign. All the difficulties to overcome. But I used to try to improve. But that the number was only despite his success and to do so. In fact, excellent harp sounds it was also possible to make changing the seat of the moon and stars. Or sends down the frost and snow pair in the season. Or out springing a black cloud. Is also the old days that thunder was or for that there he was. Even if nobody knew that the best thing of the music, completely to those Oseru, to learn the tricks was small. To become the masses left now is only worth the fragments of those of the old days of true also it seems to be one thing, still yet to rashly to the practice of the harp that is a thing that keep the ear demon. Because what progress there is a person who can see rather a variety of unfortunate and it cannot be a person who the kodo practice the sinister and can also superstition. Such as that lead. It's the fact that people learn this troublesome tricks is low in these days. Thing regrettable. If from the world of music he made to those that do not have the sound of the root is without a harp. All things because while such do to degenerate at a faster speed and kakeru decline. Only one person in such aspire eagerly to the arts. Korea. Nothing family weight in China become Karimanized also because Kyotekia. Also not that much. That this trick is only can know is what I think I want to. As well as it is difficult they can learn enough even one song. Because of such some of the difficult myriad of music to this young and of around thriving year of music heat I or examine the koto score of only in the world. Those that are coming from over there is ordered to everyone at hand. But thereby was the study until one of my more although it was inconvenient lost also thing called a power teacher. Was a study in self-taught. Still intended to cover gay ancients it because he did not have a little. Let alone from now on I'm sad about this trick and will be a lonely thing. Quote, Jin thought ashamed Fugo Inaku themselves have heard of become your narrative such as the hospital. Once in your adult prince on the now. But he alive whether uncertain and that until then. I hope you try to gave you a kodo tricks of only you learn of me at that time. Ninomiya is such a genius from now since it seems to be no. Quote, Mrs. This your words Akashi were had by the listening side in tears, as is its own honor. Nyogo is giving up the kodo in purple wife, because had laid the annoying body. Supposed to be playing the wagon hospital as you. The second of the ensemble is made to those fancy of soft mood. Quimais of Katsuragi has been sung. Hospital from becoming served you a voice in places of repetition was very beautiful the whole. Become a high-rise time of the month. Has become the plum blossoms of beauty is also brilliant. 13. Sound of the kodo of stringing is The Nyogo is a pretty feminine, but the sound of swing, similar to the mother of Akashi Mrs. built a clear deep sound. The queen is given out gentle mood changed from that hand. They're charming enough to remember the good heart of the listeners. It was those along the inspiration of old. Tone of Lu made a stage. The end of the ensemble becomes the alignment scraping of the place to be. In-law is all at once gorgeous. Koto interesting, Mia repelling, how 5/6 stringing and the examine 5 are taken to your playing. Even a little, there is no point that seems to be immature. It was well clear and heard. To come play and learned well without the false from the so mastering of springin'. Autumn unexpected must be changed if any other of the bullet method hospital has become to tell you. Hospital is your pride, it was to remember. Cute hospital that the smaller your grandchildren is eagerly served the role of whistle to. Oboshi meshi, though would have been sleepy. This evening of the ensemble is not continued long left to the attached kankyo was a slight. Schedule should not so long. It also there is no sensitive enough to know the time in the musical. It became involuntarily late. Was that there is no compassion. Quote, you say it in the, will you insert the shuhai to child blew the whistle of the show. It was to become given as take off your clothes. For a child of a flute served with such hakama from the more purple misses elongated thick fabrics. It was issued a fireman's standard head. Not so much conspicuous. The general and liquors issued from the mistakes himomiya. Your costumes one suite of the house has been in Matoyatama. It is strange, first your teacher is not to put out a reward. I was disappointed. If the hospital is this will say you a joke. It came out whistle of your gift from the bottom of Kicho the temple. Hospital will receive with a laugh. But it was a very good komabue. When will blow you a little. And the general and the people who had begun to another exit stopped. Is to match blow to May sound to take the flute. It had a son. The sound I think that Shigei Hospital heard too happy it becomes. Which also had been satisfied to have been his disciple. Jen. But went back the moonlit night of road ride to the car together the children. Forever until the second round of the cage sound of the koto of opinion on the ears. Do I missed without Seto. Even though this person's wife had received your teaching of the grandmother of the house. It is taken over to the father of the house while also still off an unexpected fall in mind. It was ended up with 10 3-stringed instrument also odd practice from in front of a good person is not played even a little ashamed. All have roughly lives without regard to appearance. Since it is of being chaste in child care born to a toiyato. General is such good of the young wife of the feeling is of a little also not be receiving yojin. In addition to jealousy, Tianjin when such angry, was the innocence of his wife with a view of the full bloom of Takoro. Hospital will be on your way toward the pair. Purple misses by and talk with a woman Sanomiya remaining after. But left at dawn. I did not leave the bedroom until nearly noon. Is the house is not like was not good. How did you hear that harp? The hospital became the Taku to Mrs. Beginning around. From you like over there. When I was unheard. But did not ask and still be able to you so. It was mainly vary your progress. All is your most. I think the teacher I was ARC newsletter, devoted only to it. Quote, well, I mean, there was no such definite teaching because teaching while taking a hand. But wasn't going to teach you to be. There is it because it is practice consuming cumbersome in time. But I could not with execution. When asked that the hospital of His Majesty also he said that would have to be the only of practice. Harp. A pity. I feel that it might have to be as a duty but was elected to the parents at the very least that much of it become. We teachers began to do. Incidentally, which is at the like. Put small was of the roller you to the hand. But I thought the one ideally nurtured. And I to the less spare time is of that time. To could not be I'll become a teacher of special one. In recent years also by making full use me many things is from the next to the next. I'm felt honored by was good of can of koto that did not give to be well taken care of. That the general has been very impressed it also did not help but pleased seeing both became to compliment you on such artistic ability is also a rich. Now have faithfully committed to the temple Argo-Mago obligations. Grandmother on the other hand, the lack of even the power to take the home of the practice is not a little also show hospital that it is the wife becomes you think. And what that perfect person to do this is there also such things as short-lived was to remember you such anxiety. Many of the women became look hospital. So much to the person who was well-equipped thing also was the Queen of Purple so come decided to. Absolutely no other. Mrs. this year was 37. While a long time from the cohabitation Osobasa Hospital is Suikai sported. It does you abstain so as not to force this year by a lot than a year of half a lifetime things. Like prior. What I did so always must be allowed to be careful. But undeniably in addition to that because there will be if you are inadvertently believe in yourself. If also somewhat event of a large Buddhist memorial service. Such as that you want to you will not be prepared any number if Carrera says it to run out of Bishop of Kitayama. It became it's regrettable that it was fine religious to say without the relatives. Quote, both became your say. Also, I had a destiny to be treated already very much from the beginning was born. But may be said with the human as unusual even have honor of material happiness that obtained. Become today. The other hand in many of than anyone it also says that people who came to see the sadness beginning that broke up early with the mother and grandmother, that a variety of sad there was in around me, become that it has lightly the sin. Thus I think it is also surprisingly lived longer. You think Utaro did not have another pensive also agony from by the bitter experience of that do not live at home era with me. The person who is said to you later, let alone less in the court of the people is not people who do not suffer themselves in competition. Consciousness of the people, I think not in anyone like you comfortable that came up today as the remains are in the parents' house. Or in this regard only you know that you were happy than anyone. Unexpectedly the himamiya from getting in that you have to pick you up to here. May I? But there will be a little unpleasant. But thereby my love is more deepened. You do not know because it of its own absent. But you have to ask him because it is a good person of Monokari might be willing not understand. Quote, if the hospital is made to your referred to as such as your words. But as me if measure seen from the other it has become excessive for about her herself. Only sadness in my heart will continue to increase. Just the gods want you to reduce it at you I'm praying. Quote, lady seems beauty queen who said just this by holding that wanna say I saw. Either is or you feel, actually I do not live any more long. This critical age also you know the bad thing is that you to remain this yet no not face up to. That you have to ask from the previous so. Well then none if you can forgive me. Quote, both Mrs. said, it is the absurd. Although you are my life after you've become a nun is going to be no matter how boring things. Like being is mediocre to live. That is alive and Matsumajiku with you if not better that I do believe. That what you just, no matter how I love, please I try to see in the future a long time. Quote, the hospital to become called tailings. To hear that again becomes usual thwart your way inside your own faith and the comfort words. There are in tears of Mrs. Hospital is made to think you be aware. Various it was become Otsutom trying Magarasa yo and out to the do not talk. There is no in so many. And try to say about a relatively talented woman I of the contact. But the woman is the nature more than anything people who are considered calm in the good is. Believe that it is first class. It is quite I want you something cannot be found. And marriage to his childhood is the mother of the general. But I thought is that it is the wife should be respected. To not be able to improve the relationship. That the finished remain with separated. And I think now sorry it not therein. While I also regret that it has the unfortunate. And I also thought, on the one hand and just did not also bad yourself. It was the fine lady then that there is no mistake, but did not have any of the drawbacks. Is only the well-equipped too orderly subjected to a hard feeling. The last person to say that too little can, but reliable if you heard the story, was a woman like that as in the wife to the feel cumbersome Miyasundakoro of his mother of Nakamaya is one who is recalled to the example of a talented woman who provided a deep insight, but it was extremely awkward personality as a lover. Also by Ulam's is of course, but if one street seems, because that person is the curse deeply as it is languishing, not forget that the opponent did not become in painful. I feel self-esteem that does not put us not to appreciate the self, such as those Matsuwa with a year all over is in, and might be the man that I do not like in case such became to me like too much tension to vanity te, and I edges extinct and tanoi naturally. I have been thought that there is sorry to have discarded only such you know the person's true value, that caused the result to stand this seriously have names or closer perceived to recklessly and with all your good for at least Nakamaya I want to, but will it also was a previous student of promise. Thus the fact that I say take care in the child will have reviewed me from beyond the grave. Even now I as that often produce the sorry results in order from the heart also with I floating old people. Quote, it should be noted that the top of several people or of the woman hospital became our narrative. That guardianship role of Nyogo is the far took a look lightly in my there is a big deal. Because it was a deep place a woman of about not seen to the bottom of my heart. Seemingly Rashiku obediently while invisible to the malleable firmness to protect the self that's the relia to appear in the case of something. Quote, if the hospital is made to you're referred to as, although I do not know because I do not see the person of another, but we owe Minakaka to that person is time to time, bright and intelligent and compared the feeling of your own to not be a little also your show. The friendship to anyone it is me that people bad rules whether the irasharu and how a look impose. But the door to Nyogo to write also has thought it would be interpreted only as refers to me. Quote, it began to look even so generous hard Akashi wife had been a net Hamashiku think the man for the wife also hospital and probably because deep love for Nyogo was pleased Oboshimeshi. I do not you let me so annoyed because but people, which is also the heart of blame is also caring. There is no person that can you imitate in a lot of woman. It is not too fine. Smile to hospital will be called tailings. From getting in the evening. I'll say the celebration of the temple has become our playing well. To say, hospital became to go out to the main room, is such that the people who are suffering because of their own is in addition to and not in the mind. Your youthful temple became come and engross the koto of practice. Go to your any more koto to rest and you will not have to be relied hospitality good teacher. Was able to be at ease if there is a paddle of painful effort. And the hospital is now in your words the instrument became it asleep impelled. Is the better of the pair queen in such a night habits of main room stay had been listening into. Read the novel to wives have happened long. Amorous man also in the novel, which copy the life, with the people who make the several people also lover to the other party. Even if each other is the woman who constantly agony written. At length the Ainama living come of only two people is to have become everyone to be. But there would be if. Do not have to not get used to one of the wife to become his later years. But their own as your words of the hospital is unexpected mare blessed with fate. Haunted life and pain and that nobody most unbearable however will the unexpected must be. I continue to think that such is deplorable that Mrs. Butters was entered from dandruff night to the bedroom, made from night on illness. It is grossly chest that the wife is to say that it Moshiagio to the hospital worried. Sorry it is such a thing. And Mrs. is stopped. I waited for the morning in Shinobu and very painful. Although condition of his wife and even the heat is bad. Among which are to be without also to encourage you to not become hospital in the early your way. to use that came to have a letter from more of Nyogo to Mrs. of illness to my wife was told that, in order to have an announcement from surprised Nyogo to the hospital. And while troubled the chest hospital visiting in the back, his wife was sleeping at Fu pain. What feelings do, and I say now, very wife of the body to take a look and put hands under his covers are hot. It is also believed that the critical age, which was discussed yesterday, hospital were horribly being oboshimeshi, such as we brought to make up porridge, but Mrs. Even was also reluctant to see. Hospital became come to the nursing become your escort all day in bed. Only one remained several days not Okigara without mouth like a little candy. What happens thing or the hospital has become the number knowing then we start the prayer become a worry. Became common Kaji was also such summoned the monk. Where is particularly bad and Mrs. without is very painfully one who sometimes occur cage Tagata likely to suffer as well, such as chest pain appeared. A variety of curing also may curse, but effect is not visible. Although serious illness has been by the prospective heal if vertical even time also is reliable. This sick man hospital the look just Kokorobasoku became sad once to come. For cannot afford to become you think that the other well. We're in a state of discontinuation also moth of the Pope. Angel to be hospitable to sympathy to Mrs. illness from Matera of the Pope came often. Mrs. of the disease was over even 2 months remain in the same state. Hospital, taken to come to the heartache of the more unexpected say enough. Become you think once you left change the location to attempt. Became transferred to your illness queen to 2 articles of the hospital. People of Roku join are all large as calamity came. Is sad. Rysen Institute was also asobasa your heartache. Since that will Roku join is always made a priest if there is a thing to the wife was to be expected. It was her busy trying to be such as general measure the disease recovery cordial wife. In addition to general of prayer that hospital is Seth had prayer also is in its own aspirations. Mrs. such as when working with little perception. What you are I will refuse you that we ask. When was resentment you a hospital? Reach unexpected then to meet the bereavement of the force. Is to look at things like to go far away from their own while alive. Hospital that I feel not bear to live even a moment is also bosses. While they have a lot of longing for more from the old days of my priesthood. I think that live lonely and you left behind is because it cannot bear. Thus although still remaining in the profane world, are you in the opposite me I think want to discard or what is bad not also boss for your consent become say you just so. Biotie of Mrs. began to ask less debilitating. Also again are trying to and none for it often seems whether another deathbed hospital ward become your midoi is for the woman Sanomiya in such a thing was not also bossy even temporary visit. Anywhere instruments are stowed, the people of Roku join went together toward everyone Nijo. Your this mansion was like disappeared in the fire. But although there remains only wives, pomp of Roku join if you look at the this seemed to be of the things that had been to appear for one person queen of purple. Nyogo also been nursing and your father came toward the 2 articles of the hospital. Because do you unusual of your body is not to come is like in my hospital room to wandering of Mononoke. Welcome back to the early imperial palace. Once, Mrs. among the pain of sickness were to say worried. Looking at the wakamai of your lovely wife were the very cry. I cannot look to become your large sad. Will you forget, Nyogo to listen to say that such was also sad. I should not think that there is no even such luck. Because also it will continue to dominate fate in the personality of its own. Which I think would not be a bad seems also such a thing. Those with a narrow mind career also fail because those that cannot be had in generous feelings with goodness. Because the people who die sama are a lot of examples that will get along lived naturally. You do not have happened such a sad thing. Such as a hospital were to become your comfort. God's to be wife of goodness. It's so come so pray a blessing. not visible to the eye, tells the light of the crime. Acharya, who is a dual cultivation, etc. Night stay of the monk, prayed everyone with great mind to Kokoro Guroshi of that I see the Hanahadashi of your heartache of the hospital. 5. During the day a little pleasant. If they're 6 days. Also in a condition such as that bad. Even several months of misses because I could not leave the hospital beds. Hospital became Afghan weather still survives hard life are. Not even those that appear to be transferred to humans in Mononoke. Because whereas was going to be accompanied by the day without Mrs. debilitated that bad. Hospital has been oboshi meshi just sad. Was not accustomed to you think is that of any other. That Doraemon supervision had become Chunigan. Government of Doraemon governor also remains. Which also serves his be attached to come with a gorgeous forces in response to your confidence of contemporary Tenchi. And cannot forget the bitterness of a broken heart. Was the Ninomiya and the marriage of Mr. Sister of the woman Sanomiya. This is because there was a princess of low dressing belly. I think there is no need to pay to his wife a special respect and feel Kokurayasui is. It was a undertake from the hospital. Compared to ordinary people has become their urine good woman is the love of the only change to. The person who died in mind from the beginning did not occur to Akazome supervision. But it was not only are doing the good people of the obligation of not only inconvenient to the public eye, now woman that small chamberlain of the woman Sanomiya also are using the tool to elicit the fact of such a person to the continuation of the previous love is the daughter of the chamberlain of the nanny's house. Since the sister of the nanny was a nanny oversee Doraemon. This person had heard your rumor of the house from a boy. That you're beautiful. The chichitai had been all the time hurting to become the come and doting is became the sprouting of this love. Roku join it becomes your move to the diseased wife in 2 articles of the hospital. Oversee Doraemon the small chamberlain think that will allow who made his welcome to Jitai. Was about also that they eagerly speak. If you are the love of the more threatening to life from the old days. Yet have a tezaru that you convenient. It is possible to hear your appearance of the temple like. Also considerably tell that my have been agony but ought to have asked to. Not a pity because there is no effective enough to see any. You will your meshiku. Even the Pope like even. The temple like becomes to become you to one person in the wife of even several people. Not that the first wife is the person of another. Many night to become one person you slept mi. Living in Surezure is to ask you to become Kumte. Infu sported your regret. It will be referred to you as a loyal yojin of ordinary people if you were of letting the marriage. Was to choose for the temple. Woman Ninomiya that in the future are rather happy it was so or not looked Hanama-shiku I heard. Or even feel sorry. Not help is not agony I also regret. My Mia's also your but there is a sister. Its idea to the people of just it. Quote. When the Doraemon supervision is Mizaru to the Tansoku, small chamberlain is. Well too good. It will because you try to do is to put it is it. Also what? It blamed the Doraemon governor is showing a smile. With well would all these is that of the world. I table also he aback also those. That I was eager suitor Sanomiya is. The Pope like even better you know His Majesty. His Majesty the era I think that fully expected them unlikely. And was also said to. But I think that it always lacked a little more of your favor. Quote. They say things like, it is useless. Is that difficult? It is also destiny. Is made to Roku join like come appear become a suitor. But what that competitor sign a victory I do not think. That you just are very so I had your self-confidence. And now these days you will find the color of your kanpuku became made you rich what is it? Quote. I thought the governor Akazome that you do not hold the candle to something like this talk on and on. Small chamberlain of the attack. I do not say that the other long time ago. I just went up to the nearby these days of such a once-in-a-lifetime good opportunity to at the very least. Your living room. me my the afflicted heart hakara that make me talk just a little bit or not. Such as a waste yokunin is brought to watch. Because I have given up that does not occur anymore at all. It would be nice. Quote, I wonder if there is more of a waste greed. It is what has become to cause you a terrible wish. I wish I had not Myra out. Hardline in small Chamberlain is refuse. Am not but say that the terrible. Taizara Shiku's what to say. It is not without some people became to wake you once a love problem to say that after. Let alone is the no is that of the court. Even if the come seen in quite a tale about herself from the other. Or not it intends a caro in there also regretful. From the Pope like to Nasu, your adult is reluctant important than any child. Now in the same amount equivalent of one person of his wife. Who is not a control status of. Yet I the detail that not to be treated you as a person of the beloved as I know. Because people down here in impermanence of the world. It because you might be trying to protect Koshite for your well-being of the house will all wasted. You'd better not keep saying that I am the ruthless. Quote, is to say you that it is the wife does not want care about people. It do you that you are able to well in your power. Roku joined like a temple like I'm not there also because ordinary couple. One person without parents into you then is the thing from which you ask in loco parentis in. Obo Shimeshi said that council thing is that Nasu, and also that feeling was now to undertake. Saying boring things. Eventually bad Mia like you're right for. Quote, finally is the mood of small Chamberlain that had angry Akazome supervision was taking. Speaking to a true. The temple like to be have a Roku joined like that rare good looks to good people. Omanakaka, by itself them not have anything even believe that it will have a favor. Just one saying the only thing I have to talk to the thing over. Do not you received or not the guilt and punishment to say that I think even to do. God or Buddha s not to detract from the dignity of the temple like. Also stand up to vow that any saying Akazome governor is not done it absolutely unclean. And to ask the guidance of only a secretly your visit. And at first is that it has seriously in the hard line small Chamberlain has had splashed against. Because it is inherently ill-advised young wife. Whether that be convinced to this. It is moved to the avid ask. Let's will if your guide if you find a gap. Such is good to do that. Salon evening grave to come as you have a lot of wife around your kicho. Always she marked with one person you someone to your toe baradai though because I have. It does you that there is such a good cage in any time. Quote, while saying as troubled and small Chamberlain went back. What about, was doing me to find a day what will the coming small Chamberlain blame from Akazome over Siana. Daily basis with a chance of at length while troubled to Akazome supervision. Supervision went to visit a small Chamberlain to create a seal which is not conspicuous with joy. Doraemon oversee itself but then as I know that not correct this behavior. Without thinking until tomorrow not touch your state of things over the pensive is more Sunoru. Should just feign in the temple of Omeshimono To to comfort the heart to see the overlap in only a vision. Once in the spring of last night did not only see a unbiased on his breast went close. Then also possible to obtain a reply of the statement of Rowan thinking about the Seif. The temple was not only oversee Akazome that cherishes the fleeting hope that unexpected might give us a due mercy. This is that of April 10 several days. In the day tomorrow with your misogi of Seian of Kamo. If there are 12 of the wife to be served by putting in Tadashi Sosha for the sister of Seian. Toka young wife was hit in the selection. Dojo Tokas. Or sewing. While you are or the makeup. There is also person who is going to leave tomorrow hunts on its own. At all each other. If you are a fuss to Shitaku. Towards the house of your living room when little wife you are. Because the source lieutenant general come through sometimes even you're supposed to enshaw user in. The Osojo was summoned forcibly toward the room. Only this small Chamberlain was in or you attached your, I think is a good cage. quietly small Chamberlain was doing to make the east of the seat to the end Doraemon overseeing your Tobaradai. This is a rough good offices. Although the temple is became come to sleep without any heart, is your impression of the signs of man came closer. When the hospital is to think you in what has become come on. How the man was Kashikoma, show me. Because the temple from the top of the book stand of the floor was trying to arose so embrace down. Become I think you in what has been attacked by a thing in a dream. And you played with so you can view by force the person. It was the man that was different from the hospital in. Also like none we have to talk I've heard so far. The man told to harping. Mia is made to think you Kimiwaru-ku. It became to call you a wife. Who does not even come by and heard your voice because in your living room was not even anyone. Palace turned out have your leaf. So come flowing in cold sweat your body. Such as water. This figure. Such as syncope is very was Karen. It's who I am unexpected boring. But it does not think it's Shido as to hated you so much. But the wasteful love for a long time I had been. Great settlement in the darkness once you have left the eventually Hakken kid also. Because we say that the most we hope for your like, go to your ear hospital. In that case hospital also that of the absurd did not be gone. When it also became a result to give you your like to the other to the low of my position. Blow that was received in my heart it would have been no matter how large. Is made to the other right now and we are aware that there is no kai. It was not refrain that out in such behavior. How much the sadness of this broken heart was kui deeply in my heart. The years just go is about Kuchiyoshiku reproachful I stand if vertical recruiting. Now think also horrible thing. Also is there only is deeper with it mind you think you like. I will no longer be able to suppress the other emotions. But I come also to seriously have plants as such embarrassing appearance. On the one hand because I have remorse that there is no very caring. More rudenesses I will not. By to listen to these words. The house became your understanding that it is a Governor Doraemon. It was very unpleasant to be in your feeling. Kowaro properly also not also Vasa any of your Stonehenge was also Oboshimeshi. It is as your most you like it you like these frosty your treatment. But I think is there then not that there is no example to the world. If to show you the fu was missing two of your sympathy. It might be what it distraught to Nasaki enough. Please say it is poor and only. I will go away to hear your word. Both were overseer's own preaches trying to move your mind of the temple change the goods. Changing hands. Imagine just as not wrapped divinity is very dignity of imminent. Such as words of love seems like a thing that cannot be sincerely in. To announce only one end of the passion. Depend also thinks such as to commit other rude unexpected regardless of the was the governor had to be. Not also think that's a noble woman. From the look in the eyes of the people. As there is no softness and pretty beauty tag year all. Akazome's supervision desire of his becomes a thing which is not being suppressed. Become a husband and wife went to steal the temple anywhere. I also it with you throw away the world. I began to think that the world discarded maybe. The Governor Doraemon and I think slept a little heard a voice that no cat who loves to dream of their own. It is recalled that it was and had come to him going to return to the house. I woke up when I thought the thing was that superfluous. The first time Doraemon Governor at this time was realized its own act. But to see that the temple is to come drowning in grief by fell into sin and the sordid negligence. Even the much more that now this. You please realized before or rage was. No matter how deep, but as the sin that I have committed. I force not know. I myself was shown. The cat is also Akazome Governor in the spring of last night became come the temple in the mistakes. That raised the end started to say unexpectedly. Such a thing as if you Oboshimeshi and what was without a cause to fall in this sad sin. The temple was of being Oboshimeshi just sad the fate of your own. To become a thought you to be yourself and which has been that it does not meet you and the other. Roku join is very sad Kokorobasoku. to become your crying-ish children. I also mata inaku, also aware at the same time their own sadness, and to see that mourn the lover was a governor of the field. Unbearable. Although it is the night that likely will dawn. Also likely go back man does not appear. What happens can I, from me has become a very hate you. But also imagine that not Kudasara they're already this alone with. Just do not please let the word Mia's variety has also annoyingly become told you from this man. And painful. Does not appear to your mouth as well as trying to say is such as thing. I was even somewhat creepy. I think there's a thing called such a relationship. Man is foo reproachful. My hope that you will be useless. I have for you is made from the original to feel good even committed suicide. But still had to live you to remain heart. Die in as far as tonight another in this life if one was I think in you there are some of sadness. If you can your heart that he will love me even a little. You die happy and he replaced the life to this. Quote. And saying, Doraemon governor left the book table to embrace your temple. Keeping, creating a shadow spread pull the corner of the chamber of the folding screen. And open the sumato. Found a south door of Watadono is our love to leave when still went last night. You down the temple to the room of Watadono did. But the was still outside the pre-dawn mortar darkness. In mind to try to see your face in the faint. Quietly raise the lattice. In order to come to, you are frosty. My such thing is common sense I have been completely eliminated. That you could be obo shimeshi and I'll cause a little calm. Please take only your words and pity. To say so Akazome supervision is menacing. The temple is made to think you it's rude. But was obo shimeshi wanna issue a word of blame something from the mouth? Just only be elite. Also appeared with your appearance girlish far. Zunzin will become bright, while making it feel busy. Man. But I would like to also talk of the likely dream of reason. Only but Yoshi with you to be your Urameshi-ku will hate you me. To become your understanding whether it is two people with no matter how deep karma also there will be to you. Quote. And I said to the man of feelings as they are about to go out with, that only in the fall of Monoganashi of the morning of the early summer has been remembered. Place the sky, also known unexpected dawn becomes sleeves consuming dew of Izuku in Grey Go. When I said the temple of the sleeves by pulling the governor Zhang. The temple of your mind is made easier and more likely to go back home state. Sky to float only a kegure is to cease be seen as carry nari dream with such disappear. Do voice to become Seiyu the transience seems to be. As well of listening to the young and beautiful. Outgoing man feel like what remains after a part soul. Without going into the place of the wife of the house. Gently Akazome oversee the father of Daijo Daijin house was came. Ephemeral meet Seto enough may be said that a dream is still there along with the I do not think it can be. The figure of a cat that was found in the dream was also reminded Miss. A large negligence is what I've been. Horribly and it has become their own that seems dazzling living. I am ashamed. Supervision was much as it is holed up in the house. It is that I'm sorry also for the lover of the house. It has become a guilty sinner as well as himself and I think that is that which is not irreversible. Freely and myself may go out to the outside seems it was no. Even if the things like Tadamatsuru steel choki of his majesty. If this much was a partner of love with passion. Only receive willingly the punishment. Should not this adventurer is. Such transgressions will not receive it. Roku join this it is very horrible to imagine that will see yourself in the eyes of hatred. It is embarrassing that the Akazome supervision was wondering. There is also the inner little pancake heart to say that the lady. The surface is also ish talented woman. Who unlike also a parent, such as some innocent is susceptible to temptation. Showed an opponent in a meeting of the excessive love alignment but then is likely to be te. Woman Sanomiya is located in either your heart depth. Cowardice from one nature. Rising fear even as had been discovered another secret to people if in left to be ashamed it is to is to come turned up, none to even can you be out to have it you to bright better. It seems to be would have been to your enlightenment also to be myself suffered a sad fate. Mia becomes to accept the news that is as your illness. Roku join. In addition to the illness of his wife to become sad grossly. Also turn to come to visit surprised with what happened that should be such heartache it was. But the house did not appear to separate from where the food that you're bad. Just very in the shy. And became come my niece. And just to avoid your eye of the hospital. To become facing down. And Whaler thinking myself that was not visited for a long time Urameshiku. It is also the aware your eye hospital. Painful is to be reflected. We'll talk about. Such as condition of purple wife. Will become another useless. You have to go with because you what you think and do not want Yari so coldly seems the last two. Become. Because from girlhood is the wife took care place near all the time. I feel that does not put discarded also. Although we are also nursing alone with attached at Fu as Hoteki is also the other so several. May. Also will be me get to thinking you well and do that time. Quote. To become Seiyu and the like. The house is made to come to hear. That sin does not know even care about the first time. As well as feel sorry things. To also become you think like that I'm sorry. It became come and secretly crying what feelings. Since Akazome governor of love is there that had been day and night increasingly soon or only. Violent agony. Kamo is such a festival to young noblemen out to see the sights was of trying to sweet also come in great numbers, but had continued to pensive without leaving the show in the bedroom to be a disease. While the wife of the woman Ninomiya showed a fu pay tribute also. Love seems congenial Yojin is not be seen. Supervision where thinking Kokorobasoku world while crushing the Surezure time beside the wife of the house. Dojo, look at the aoi that has. Karu lend frustrated Motsumi to none held over forgive the aoi grass god. Song like this was Kuchizu-sama. Love of the flame with regret is not. Such as more and more start bowl. While listening to things farther away the sound of sightseeing vehicles heard from city's world. It was to have also boring suffered. Woman Ninomiya even if you feel the lack of sincerity of Doraemon oversee the attitude. It is what is the not to see. Like your self-esteem has been hurt. Has been the object Omawashiku just Oboshimeshi. Wife. Such as the day of Hitozakuna out to see the sights of everyone festival. 13 sporting a lonely look Akoto of the Bale. Temple so come play in the old sound. Your beauty seems more truly noble the gloss of flavor and has become visible you are equipped. But just Akazome governor he a little more luck was not enough had thought of themselves. What to picking a subject name Moro Kazura fallen leaves Domo Nair Matsumajiki held up. I had a song like this to waste writing. Is that a waste? Hospital will be sorry do you think that the return to rarely immediately from the place of the house, which remains to visit you, but became come staying. Uses come to the place where so come I just Kazukawa Shiku the disease Mrs. Tay. Informed and suddenly breath extinct. Although hospital were to be returned to you go to the article of the hospital in your feelings. Such as any of the world becomes dark. And so come to think frustrating even the speed of the car. Make noise highway stands the other close to the two articles of the hospital people in had been met. Heard many cries from within the residence. Look Gitaku covered that there is a big scandal. Crazy and became the go-you to the house. The 2 to 3 days in was there seems little you pleasant. There is suddenly had sported Zesoku. Wife et al. Was this kind of report. Themselves also. How choke cry and want to die together was also sad. Gan another prayer sauce corrupted. The other the even also remain only very close people monks are showing a busy seal to go out to work Jimai. Another beloved wife of life in this way and what was in the end hard to manpower also Horiki also applied. Hospital became remember you sorrow not help Tatoeo. But this seems it would be doings of Mononoke. not the one to cry too distraught. The hospital is one the wife who cry, has once again become a stand usum of the Daigun, and I will gather you a monk of excellent ascetics. Also in the enumeration that this is determined, I want you to loosen the period for a while. Fudison was smoked. It will make a promise to return for a while life at the end of the human beings. And there is your sugary contact. Mrs. also called it Nari, only life the please bestowed. This, monks say, was praying with great Nesayob, as is said to make a black smoke from the head. Hospital want to be given a moment to Miyawasu only each other, just a glance. Look at your situation. To be worried about your Tansang did not want to be saved long from shame of sadness that can be put off to the last time. Far from the Mrs. is thought to it intends Mizuka Shikaro to become your survival after the. Also not hard to imagine that the addition that the people of Tanku, whether the big love to his wife of this hospital has moved the Buddha Mononoke that has not appeared any it has ever come to a small child Teisu. At the same time breathing of his wife and began to shout as has passed through it was. Hospital is also Oboshimeshi. Also it has been Oboshimeshi also to grave anxiety pleased. Mononoke says while being suppressed in the monks. I will be the refrain everyone from here. Sometimes I would like to hospital per person of your ear. Because I reproachful, it is heartless it became come plagued in my soul long horiki. But thought I'd show you discipline. To see that is sad to be made to be dangerous indeed for your own life it is. Even now what I am Mononoke, because MIA come out in order to remain in old love. Was Genwa the appearance not your grief is overlooked. I did not want to show such as appearance but, and Mononoke cried. How the cry sprinkled the hair on the face. Was Mononoke that you did a look once long ago. At that time the same Bukimias becomes to think you like a terrible omen also comes sprung up in your mind. The hand of the children hospital is made to catch you. Will not sit you to before. Sordid appearances it became effort to am I allowed to see as much as possible people. Or, really the person from bad because such as the foxes sometimes come to say bullshit in order to hurt the deceased. Would only that you could have consent to me in that which is not known but nice. Others say for sure saying try, but a good one. I also believe that little if so. Quote, if the hospital is called tailings Mononoke while tears to by ones and twos cried sadly. Yunari you to drowning sky while a familiar customers not roughed what myself. Reproachful, Fu showed the shame also truly while crying and did not even different place in the old days of Mononoke, because I feel rather unsympathetic because it is not a lie is to think you miserable in the extra. A lot of Wasumai in hospital things have been what you please with all the Nakamaya is happy. But we have also seen from beyond the grave and thankfully. Do I deeply do not feel as before the thing called love of the child is made to the people of that world. Reproachful far only I think the obsession with you there are still also becomes something like this. It's also in resentment. Alive to of you around in than it has become in our handling lighter than other people. Pour me in a couple of story that you are now you say to us to frustrated me. Since the other am I dead? Do you not say I well intercession to say to make even if I were Uku? Only by resentment you do so. It also became a large display and has become such a body. Not in deep grudge against the wife, but only tried to rebel does not close by strongly be safety of law. Because you also your experience I was able to hear the feign of another good. Please taken lightly so as a way of my sin. Dual cultivation. The voice of the chanting only Kamatsuwa become painful flame for me. I want to contact with the voice of the precious Buddha of compassion. But cannot be hear it then Kanashu. Also Nakamaya please talk about this. It must not cause the heart, such as jealous of the people in one of the lives of concubines. Thinking well sure that again the open-handedness of only able to forgive the sins of between. Became you served as Saikuta Buddha, that suffering in the next world I and must, but say things like, is to also rule bad you think to become the talk towards the Mononoke. Keeping confined by the force of the law so as not to leave Mononoke is also now transferred to your illness wife to other chambers. It was Purple Mrs. Hospital to be ominous rumors that some of the people who come to describe the message of condolence transmitted to another world that the dead became you think. Officials who had come out to see the sights of the matrix of the return of today's festival heard the rumor on the way home. It's serious thing. It began even light rain because the date of definite aim of there was a happy woman is hidden. The light. There was also people who make such an interpretation. Also, what that to everything uniform person is yo short-lived thing. What to Sakura? And what if defeat was stops those and all of this Maso Moi to cherry wait. As a song called, these people live longer if I was. On the other hand, it is a translation can also many people that does not have to be not unhappy to settle into dishes of the houses Europe hospital. Some days to be collected you herself a favor will come in this too bad I because I was due foo. There was a person who also referred to as such. Doraemon governor yesterday of today learned by experience the boredom left large valve of the younger brother had been holed up in the town was out to sightseeing right in the back of the car. Such as the counselor. Rumors that the people entered the ear sometimes. This person was the uneasiness that has changed a kind. Chilly if what do cherry mededicary was wrecked with people taking the same car while humming. Even as such. To scold Hasashi in something fleeting life. To the article of the hospital. Since it is not sure yet, but it was carried out by the format sick visit. Since when was that clamor and cry of the wife? Was further surprised as if they were true. Just when the Shikibu lord of the temple has become your betware. The house in Fu wilted became enter your to the inner. Not completely agency is still altogether greeting of a large number of greeting guests came pouring. Left General came out while wiping the tears to the place is busy at once the house follow us. What way is do you come? But there are people who say that the ominous we were asked not be able to believe. However long you for your disease was I mentioned your concern. Such as the Doraemon governor said. I was woven sick longer remains, a serious condition. Had been Zesoku this morning of dawn. It was because of Mononoke. But everyone was one safe to say that finally began to breathe attend. You because you are not still Tanamashiku think. Sorry. The generals say that there are still state that had been crying until the actual now. Eyes had swollen a little. Doraemon's supervision was wearing from its own days or at a heart. The eyes and is it a wonder grieve until this by stepmother general was also not that familiar. Something like this high-ranking officials also made to hear that came together in sympathy. Greetings from the hospital was told. Since we have decided the wife at all cry commotion in order to seem sudden change in heavy sick person came. Because as from the cage I myself have also lost a final heart of the calm. Also thanks to the renewed courtesy in addition to the day lets my name. Quote, just say your word of the hospital. It's to the other Doraemon oversee chest commotion. Not be such a congestion that is harajitanai behavior of because is to have know that it is their own not come place. Hospital to be still horrible the after resuscitation. Taken you think, was to ask for divine protection of all kinds of horiki for wife. Mononoke even was also afraid when that appeared in the wraiths. Because this time as has become the specter. Horrible form that is depicted in religious paintings be imagined. Kimiwaru ku. Miserable oboshi meshi benin. Take care of Nakamaya as it has been oboshi meshi to that which is not reluctant only at this time. But as all the same thing that the woman is not limited to the man. Since it is what makes the cause of the man's deep sin of life all is in your thoughts and think to those unpleasant. There is a though was only just what I said a little in the story between the couple that others unexpected hear anyone, and will remember you such a thing. Finally lust world was to become considered your noisy So by all means want to be a nun and his wife once. A little take the hair of the top of my head. It became to receive only your 5 precepts. Jiashi is the oath. Protect the completely Buddha of the commandments. When described in the precious words and before the Buddha, hospital the body surface also you've forgotten now. See that has become remembrance of the Buddha with his wife while wiping the tears snuggled in. Mrs. F. Intelligent nobles also become sugary you to the Buddha to the illness of your wife heart was found to be unchanged in the ordinary man. Any way to take the salvation of the wife of the disease. In order to be worried about you day and night whether trying kept a long lifetime. Came to a little fin is also visible in your face of the hospital. Although condition of the disease misses let alone by climate is bad. Such as may it did not seem also go I'd saw why ya, than before was like a little good. Moreover, there was still painful day-to-day sometimes wife. Hospital in order to save the sins of Mononoke, became come by memorial service one by one volume the Lotus Sutra every day. The other was something also basa a lot of religious life. There is the sotam with the unremitting chanting also is in beside the bed. It was to a view devoted to it to choose the voice of the good monk. Mononoke is to say that the sad out season since once appeared. Not at all, is not to go is retired. Finally weakness of disease misses become a hot summer's day as only as vigorously to the hospital. Became come continued to come tan. I think Kokoro Guro Shiku misses this your stay to the hospital while not weak to disease. Because the is not anything to die of their own will die knowing to become so your sorrow will be. No compassion. The point in that the unexpected must strive to live yet. Since I like this I feel has happened. Probably because that was supposed to take even little by little. Such as rice hot water. Sometimes it is seen to raise the head from getting in June I was able to be. While becoming the rare happy you think. The hospital did not also be the visit to go to trifle to Roku join in your anxiety. Himomiya the one that so come to continue the agony from if there is that incident. Our body went missing in the normal state. But will look you as your illness. It's not so big deal. From May in June it came to the haggard your bad your complexion to decline our shokuyoku look. Doraemon supervision came in Shinobun like a dream from time to time Omo Iyamaru. Then is the temple of your heart it is now also occurs affection is to not to of you. Not only is the crime to your fear, that their appearance also status also it is a human not worth comparable to this was and of course. Look at the wind flow man once surface strutting. Have undergone the reputation Kanomoshi handsome man from the general public. The temple became come given to the good people of the source of light from the girl era. Is made to look by comparison. It is not even in the face that seems to so value from. Because of the opponent not be anything other than your consciousness that is a rude person. Because was also basa the pregnancy is a feel sorry fate. Nanny who is with a mind. Do not become only occasionally. And also become something like this inflicting you a burden to the temple like. To have been resentment you a hospital. It is to know you to come into sleep. Hospital was also basa trying to zune yo. Mrs. I would like to have to clean the hot hour in minute. Had become through somewhat refreshing wash your hair. And since it is had become as it is also next to. Not dry out quickly. To swing to clean still not be that hair is a little bit of a tangle of wet. It was along the sick beauty. White face bluish is a beautiful. Crystal clear skin with, not rely as monarch of insects. Moreover, long discarded by article of the hospital, which was place seemed even to narrow down in the glow of a beauty queen. Suddenly it flows hospital is booming by yesterday today to become in people comfortable to came. Back to his wife even tree grass also began to be sukaraba. Even looking at those garden, at length of month and day well it was bioga to a view of the summer seemed. Pond bloom many cool likely a lotus flower. That the pancake is Russia as a lush is glowing sparkling as of the ball. Look at the there. My only is not that like do is exhilarating once. Therefore you say that. Mrs. got up. Further look at the garden. It is uncommon to see this kind of appearance. Thus it seems the dream of can see you. Sad because the time there was not many times that I myself even seemed to die now. Once, I asked the hospital to become Seiyu with tears in her eyes. And appeared to be his wife also shimmed to the body. Disappeared stay as arrows the only consuming dew of Lotus and Thomas Saka should be through. And he said, pledge shills this world if but you know one heart interval of dewy ball on a lotus leaf. This is your song of the hospital. But to Roku join is no progress is noticed. From your sympathy to the royal court of the hearing and the Pope. While they received the news that he for the floor of the house. Going to visit from Kazukawashi of the serious illness of a better wife to live together it is also. Because it is not so much. Something like this hospital is to become your in mind that no matter go to sometime their home in. A little while the good of the queen of the disease became outing. Mia is rather better it is shameful Sunny so come out to the front of the hospital in the heart of the demon. Because it is childlike people also grudge against truly from Stonehenge is also not good too. But come your say on long constantly things arrow will the hospital will be and I think you. Kokoro Guro Shiku became come depends on that comfort. Will you call the wife of the Carol? And like your discomfort of the passage of the temple hospital is to ask you. It was an answer that is that of if there are signs of pregnancy. It has been happening quite rare now become doubt, such as just in that either became your say. Since it is not able to do so is also in the people who are near long in your mind. Not the things scandals is going on here and while becoming to remember you. But are not as to hear the details of it. It became come remember the love just a young dainty figure of people who suffer from mourning sickness. Since it became to come barely omoida. Not can also quickly become your way. 2. Even while become 3 days come on. Just condition of the queen of the 2 articles of the hospital becomes to our notice you. Became come and wrote the only letter to the better. I do accumulate the emotions to become say you in a while also and Nani. The time has now come to look up at us and finally feel sorry for people like the temple like. Such as your negligence on the part of the temple is insidiously people say. Small chamberlain engaged in secret had resound in the chest and one can safely spend between your residents of the hospital. Doraemon governor has heard that the hospital is to come toward the 6th row. Causing the days or Red-Eye jealousy. Was Taurus the letter made to feel that further to Kyokuru the severity of self-love. Hospital is in when it comes to come go toward the pair briefly. Nobody see how you are not in your living room of the house. Small chamberlain was to show you that the temple, if that read something unpleasant. I also though the mood is becoming worse. It says the house became a made you as it is to the side. What this and writing is their Adam sentence the shem to only. Small chamberlain was spread the letter of directed Doraemon. Listening to the other signs of wives came closer. Small chamberlain was away attracted your kichotir near the temple by hand. In order to your chest of the temple has become come be back until the hospital to a place that is more to Doroi. Without a while become your hidden well the letter was to put you across to the bottom of bedding products. Hospital to go with and tonight to the article of the hospital will be and you think. Was to become to say you that the to the temple. Because you are so that there is no big deal. Also there still seems to keep abandoned the like not too reliable. Because it is too late poor. Also I think I'll go to see. Even if there is a person who slander. You'll let in advance believe me. We also have the day always is to become a faithful good people. Quote, in the past also at a time like this, is to say you like joke was enigmatic children, but had been then a person who is cheerful. Very made to become it. Not even trying to mukio the face toward the hospital. Hospital just of jealousy of the shadow is pointing to entertain within became you think. When I think has become in the day of the parlor falling asleep you for a while. I had wake up your rising voice without the higurashi. Let's go out before it become too dark. If so come to hospital is a summoned shike saying. Month waiting te so and so is te road to doshi month waiting evening, also say you too. Not even supposed to youthful fu in the house, that is to say incense seems nakuku. And kokoro guro shiku weather at least become I think you and I want you to be up around the moon comes out. Hospital became as it is stop you shitaku. Ran the evening go occur while listening to the cries of the sleeves nurse with her higurashi in Russia. As it is a song the feeling of childish your mind even if you're cute. Hospital. Taken to bow your knee. Painful eye. And Tansoku was also basa. Voice of higurashi that annoy mind the village hear how orchid those who wait. While it sported the hesitation and the like. Has been also basa to be in by kokoro guro shiku that seems heartless the night to you to go. The restless is truly your heart. Evening kyo in your state that pensive of happen was eat only sweets not to take you. Hospital in an attempt to go home while still of morning Rio became the place you early. I've lost somewhere yesterday of the sector, is this instead of don't nuruku the wind? Well now you say that. As became to see go to the place that was to put you a fan in yesterday's nap. And become handed out the eyes stopped. The end of each show with bedding material was twisted a little from the bottom you are now. The wound of the letter that I wrote to the paper thin green Asuki-sama had accept. If what heart will see in a drawer rather. It was what was written in the man's hand. Intended to gloss feeling, such as paper of smell. It had been written in clever characters that broke the bone. To take a look well was bits and pieces to wrote into superimposed. It was the handwriting of unmistakable Akazome supervision. Although the wife that show you at a mirror at the Pisces of the hospital I thought that so come to see the letter of his patronage. When the small chamberlain saw it, letter of yesterday color I noticed it is. My heart started ringing to grumbling. The better. Such as the Eid hospital porridge small chamberlain it could not even be seen anymore. No way, there is the case. Whether the mischief of such a fate is unexpectedly carried out which may be those. The temple is trying to omo striving for it should become your hidden small chamberlain is. Mia is the so come and still asleep not to know anything. Keep in Torachirashi this kind of thing. It comes in I think you and will happens that if another person is found not in their own, that person is despised. It is all the time for yourself one in Abuna since this is his hospital and shallow natures had come to finally lead to corruption was interpreted. It became so your way. When the wife who has left from Arakata the house of your living room came a small chamberlain. I may leave if yesterday things. Although the color of your letter, which was Irish I read this morning council had been very similar. And I mentioned to the temple. I startled you think the temple is to just only tears is your state flowing into the flow. Small chamberlain and although our poorer there is more shiftless we're watching. Do you have a became to put your to anywhere? Since the thing that when someone wreck. And it seems likely there is a secret. But I was not anything so much of it. And that good if you do not descend to this guilty mind. But I there then went retreated. What hospital is there then there was a little time before did you return to the parlor? The peace of mind and would have you hidden sported it had been. It is I, because what I arc newsletter entered the time was reading, was forgotten as it was previously across down to cannot be put away to anywhere. Small chamberlain was her do this. Did not know what to do express the feelings of this case. Although seeing go there not even going to a letter. It there is very. There even now come very afraid. For now come to say that there is no excuse if there is to enter the ears of even hospital as much as Kasuji. Immediately another such it do you have could. The whole you're childish. Because the thing you did not also bust so nothing of vigilance against men. While my name is and love that over the years. Also there is trying to be advanced to this relationship by there that was not to come to think. I was mainly if you're sorry also for anyone. and presumptuous to small. Chamberlain says, "It will has become without the courtesy I kiosku your young husband." Mia became come-entered crying not aso also your henge. Your mood is not as just your bad. Look at the not meshiagara little two things. I come in so much you painfully. Become a place you throw it. It is a must relied his cared for his wife to become a come is already a willing to very hard. Nanny we wanted Urameshi with. Ins from getting in your way. Was to look good this morning a letter untimely also still suspicious of your sonny. Suspicion that or not there is a woman to write a character similar to that Chunigan out of the wife. Even it became div. But the wording is a clear men. That should not write the other person also it had been on the contents. Although love from the old days there then was achieved at last. It should be noted that the continuing trouble and painful thought is that you had written. Interesting to see literary sympathy is catching but, in a letter to Dodge written in such a relationship should unexpected must be also serves as ready. For when you touch the person, and the blatantly obvious to those that should not be in things like realize a person a secret. Hospital becomes you think, but it is a fine man. These I do not know how to write a letter to the woman of the relationship. It fell fall even thought, although his old day but also the sentence was diverting written in the simple case similar to this. Meticulous attention to the bottom and apparently cannot be had a being asobasa despise akazome. Supervision. Even so, the future whether it will be or if you treat the temple. It was the result of such impure love also pregnancy. It is pathetic that, neither it was said from the people, while directly to also look at evidence, is to love that person before is expected, seems impossible while that of their own. Even I do not think such is heavier opponent from the beginning as a temporary lover. But know that you have other mistresses that none unpleasant. This is my wife, not even in such opponent. It is a rude man. But those who fall into concubines and love of the negligence of your top was from the old days. The same has a different problem with this. Miyazaki is to serve you to the monarch with one men and women. Is the friendship from the heart to see with its purest made even result to cause the must management becomes love. Since there is no mean there are just people also good personality to say that nyogo and dressing. Even if there are those who shed the yukina, while not show a failure if you are not also resigned Miyazaki. It happened also to be blamed but well, if the attitude has not been treatment only as the first wife against his temple. And Sashioi also the loved ones more often in the mind. Becomes it betrayed myself had been added to the largest of the caress and things like. Such a thing should not be Ronzo on the same day. Which became to have you in the hospital which is to occur you of antipathy and do not sinful thing. Only will also look at just in women of the concubines of one way in towards the monarch that you are samurai, to the unfortunate people like never in contact with your affection. If friendship with the opposite sex you also progressing in love, there while know that it maji. Man enough comfort of a word will be kakiokuru suffering. That may be enough sympathy to the sins in the relationship, such as see the result of love between each other resulting in a growth although some, while that of myself, and I think that not worthless person enough to be inferior I think compared to about that man. But hospital were to become I think you less than tired of the temple. Also this problem it has also been agony controlled by I think that is unexpected shall be informed to the other. Chichitai also either would not then something like this came to Atsukuri the face without knowing. Come to know the sin that he has committed. And come if was a horrible their negligence to think of it. The past of himself has been floating in the mind time. It has been oboshi meshi as being unable to yourself to criticize people in love problem. Ignorant pretend is so come by. Mono amoashi grandeur is also suggest from the other. Mrs. from the heart to become merely an I myself was rambling life have crisis. It is here but was in your way. Rogue who join one would think you of the house Kokoro Guro Shiku and unexpected needs agony had been. interpreted as will become to occur you. I wish there then had longer kaifuku. Become your way when you're bad, your acceleration of the house like you there is a feel sorry. Yes, but it is your situation a little bad. I came back with peace of mind because not a big deal. There was an angel often from the court thing or something. I received your letter today. Pope special. It should be noted that since he has received a favor, I become to you for your interest is so much even you above. Sorry over your worry. Here I have also to there if it is indifference. Quote, if the hospital is the Tansoku, then the refrain to the court. Better Mia like yourself is to think your Meshiku would be your pain. Mia-sama because would say that a person of soba is always variety may not be so. I position is thank Hirushu. Such as the queen says. For you to love me. But must be a nuisance 10 million there of that. It you forgive, as compared to the generous love Miyomoiya to a boring person of emotion. My Hatada you're above is doing hard time in just that or not you think the bad. I should say that the owner of the ill-advised love, quote, and the smile will I say confusing. To Roku join is that I go back together. After also then to the house of your visit when you become willing. Begone to become and decided so. Because I is subject shake try to others in a quiet German habitat. There to become come all the way to the will Onagasami of the house like your heart. Number of days within which so come to listen to such advice from his wife was standing. But will have you in the temple also became a long time in your resentment the hospital until now. Between the grave to come of the hospital. You that now ice or titan scolded a part of its own sin is to know. When will it be if oboshi meshi if when also to at length the pope of your ear. It even was also become think you just horribly to become alive. Although come to say frequently Yakazome governor is like to your eyes. Small chamberlain be afraid to likely become a tedious affair. Was doing wrote that there was such a thing that the green of the letter. Doraemon governor is surprised. It was probably Kin when did such a thing. Horribly various secret within the overlapping month even just think that unexpected might leak to the outside. I feel to see the sin I was able to empty even though theirs was. The fact that much less so credible evidence has been entered in your hands of the hospital what a misfortune and will try an embarrassed Mata Inaku sorry not feel you. Rio also evening cool to wear while these days still small morning I feel that some of what Shamiwataru the cold is, and felt the sorrow not help Tatoeo. During the long years, even when a serious patronage come into samurai without leaving as a person you are familiar even to the events of the play. Many more than any hospital that has given the patronage. And I think the nostalgic your kindness. Rude as is supposed to receive your hatred. His is not even directed so of face at the sight person. To say or so. To will the wonder that person if that which is not your out completely. Oversee Yakazone to agony and would be to further your discomfort if the hospital is. Will be held also rock bottom. To the imperial palace attendants did not do. There is no reason to be a criminal of mortal sin. But by the feeling that the other his life is no good at this. And did not expect this thing. The first of which was Fumi, to the avenue of the wrong I did not have your Meshiku. The first mistake of the gap that found no rough. Such as your identification considerable deep, feeling well. Not appropriate it. General also thought frivolous and such seemed also to look at that time. And adjust them also too late I think such a thing. By force might look for sincerely draw back wish away from that person. No matter how say nobles. A daisama, people such one soft pleasant does not know also that of the world. Is not to know also. Not must be a warning to those that made a mistake which is not irreversible also created for yourself. I think that also resulted that causes you to sin to the people. Akazome governor of mind, was to the unbearable anguish and omoiya that pitiful you the temple. Floating in your eye of the house to become suffer from morning sickness in a pretty figure is Hospital. It became seemed Utica Koroguro Shiku pathetic. Even when the come think is love is gone as a good person. It will become your Gataku also suppressed longing in parallel with reproachful. Became come to Roku join. Your face has become to view in the hospital which is to be your only Monoguro Shiku comes to visit. Also it was ordered to the temple, as prayer is becoming to come. In our treatment of the surface not previously and nothing changed. But it is rather looks also to be asobasa for your preferential treatment. To become a familiaris as a married couple got example cross-sectional since then. While becoming to your sharing your nemi in order to distract the public eye. Hospital are heart of the house which is to see to become come to the agony in one person was painful. It was to view in the hospital. Not to say you also know the secret. But Jomiya is also childish your attitude to become come to atrophy Rishiku sinner by yourself. Will the scandal also happen because a man of such fu? When would you believe too soft nature are those not Tanamashiku that said seems lady? It became our concern is on the variety of people. It Nyogo is too flexible appearances. If there is a man to love, such as the Governor Doraemon in this house, unexpected may lead to cause a large negligence distraught the spirit more than touch their eyes. Women such a soft one in which people of what is called the heart that may be contempt to the opposite sex, and one in which would ephemeral allowed to a bad act. Hospital became I think you also such a thing. Without some people who Daijin misses receive the care that it. There is also talent also insight while a hard time from childhood. While Rishiku also father-in-law, such as myself, the inner a hard pathos that suppressed in Gishi lover wrapped NDEI was of the continues dismissed fu unexpected notice not Kato data. Udaijin even when that has been achieved by force marriage and Kaicho a wife of guidance itself that it is a mere suffering person. Evident in the subsequent attitude to do, etc., that were made in the form of a couple that were established in the will of the parents and relatives, and was an extremely fine even try to think now, is to also think you compared to the shitless man thing to Makazura it was. Because a person who became husband and wife there is a deep karma. But do not think trying to divorce, if that stand a reputation in the morals problem. Sure that will be added is myself somewhat of contempt unwittingly accordingly wax. And has been irrespected without due real. It became a look even if I thought that from the previous hospital but was to become been attracted to the heart to shoji of Oborizukyo of 2 articles. By the case of a woman Sanomiya. It is to think you as to give a lesson that should not be behind dark action. The person even now I remember you something similar to the antipathy to the weakness of shoji is when it becomes to hear that it is now the none as it had been hoped from the past. It has become write your letter as soon as the feel of truly sorry. To face the case. Words become your resentment that there was no of May forecast as that had been spelled. To know if saw servants Moshio sagang elsewhere to hear me and Suma nor at the sweet of the world. While exhausted taste the impermanence of this world, me not be running the priesthood until today. You are in a number of echo also truly become no matter how callous and will as put us. Ask there is also the place to be in. There was a long time you called such, was the early aspirations. In order to Roku join become our arguments in the eye. As another so there is no surface of the reason is. Because shoji is even and there was a place to hesitate to become an A look at this letter the depth of the 2 ties from youth until today also was more likely as shim. To where shoji now, the answer handwriting of shoji wrote wholeheartedly as of the end never dodge write another future. Was beautiful, impermanence but had been thought that only I know from experience. That you will say, with me salts, will be so much seems. How in the sweet ship she to rummage in the back of Akashi ken delay domoi, you. The echo, it does not do is never leap do you like as a person who is good of this world. This is the content, written in the dark gray of the paper. The air attached to the branches of Shikimikas. be to any one of these people. There was a letter to be enough of relish now written in Tapetsu, since this day was to come to the hospital of the two articles, to be his wife, because was that of the person you finished far away. Such is another fact of love. Hospital became to show you. It is regrettable that insult has been something like this, in the kind of embarrassing been considered as can be calm, without the love's precipitating, in the person who interpreted the same degree of hobby as a friend. Is the opposite sex can be good friends. This it only was left on my people unsaying, but now was put away so the other none, in particular, such as Sayan became Zid become one of the people to the working of the nuns. Although it has seen a lot of women, it is to have a deep insight, yet nostalgic people ranging towards that at a point such as equipped with the smell was not. What is difficult is to educate the woman, thing called destiny, to become a couple, but invisible, because those not help if attempt by the force of the parents. I think the education of the girl until marriage parent is that we should do our sufficient force. I am glad the less the responsibility not only have one person a daughter. By the time I did not know yet young life, but as what is that little child was also likely miss it. Well, give us was brought up carefully, the princess of grandchildren. Nyogo still because he had entered into the court not fit becomes an adult. Everything seems at once still incomplete. Education of Himamiya is prepared to make up the best of women. And to those who do not even find scratches, it is what you want, with a sophistication without a bunage, even if you're living in your single whole life. If an ordinary house of daughter are supposed to be a marriage, it is also yojin even be fine. But you can also yuku with the help of it. Quote, if such a hospital as you say, even you cannot find care while still alive, but you will find a mind that wants to be for you of Himamiya. Health is it, and these up, answered Mrs. Lonely Foo, to think of myself. I was envious of the people who was able to enter the free life of faith, because it will be not ready yet, maybe such as nun costumes at the shoji. Early but want a gift from me. Such thing as this morning will those kosher raw eru in the what way? Sewing you are ordered to someone, please be a line. One assortment is asked them in the east of the people of the 6th row. Because would be too felt that saw become Roshiku Hofuku hate. It makes with that in mind. Quote, the hospital has become your say. An assortment of blue dark gray misses was made at hand for the new Nunyu hospital. Taken summoned you artificer with imperial palace. Became commoner ordered the production of hand tools for the nun. Cushion. Became overlay. Folding screen. To come also to the provision of good memorabilia that such Kicho had been supposed to be. Autumn also extends banquet of the Pope for the serious illness of purple. Wife. To August seemed that it is inconvenient to take charge of this person, the better of music and Kitsuki of left general. September is also the month that has become thick. Your collapse of the later of the hospital. It is also useless. Is in October. Door Roku join has been made to come, I think. Was also extended in order. Not good is your health of the woman Sanomiya. Miya to become the wife of Doraemon. Supervision has been entered in the month. Daijo Daijin of the father-in-law is making efforts as the regal banquet was offered. Was the first time we're going out at that time. Also was Akazome oversee hold up in the disease. And then rather also previously was a governor that familiar with the beds and women Sanomiya perhaps because that is also Basa the only agony. Looked fu are painful your body more and more as the month overlap. Hospital even if there is reproachful your feelings. Is made to look at the temple so kamailing with a lovely figure. Was often to be worried about your remember the anxiety and will happens to. It was also a busy schedule that will not push to prayer. Pope also made to ask that of your pregnancy. The temple is also Basa acute imagination. Has been Oboshi Meshi want to see you. Long Roku join is made to come divided into more of the article of the hospital. By that there was previously some people I mentioned, and it is also a rare to be visiting you. It's your pregnancy is not the result of Tadakoto Maikato was suddenly also the thing sound. Is your chest in Biobo Shimeshie, and things afresh all your Urameshiku life. That the hospital is the time of the purple Mrs. Disease has become come went just over there. It's said to be that most, but became come to hear as a lack of caring, because even your visit of the hospital illness of Mrs. became rare. Or mither than happen things scandals in the meantime. Mia rather than became a decoy the trend of voluntarily corruption. Or would not then there is an unpleasant incident in such work of frivolous wife. Must be preoccupied with clean dating between men and women in court to those. Because it is there who make the scandal even in it. Is the also bossa your imagination to such a thing? Because only has left a shadow of affection which is still to think you as son to your mental state. Became abandoned you at all. Pope and became the right your letter of loving to the temple. Was had been look at when it comes to come also came Roku join. Errands it is the sorrow of this world also that month went to one that is a thing because there is no busada. Although you have heard in detail that detracts also health is in an unusual body. What about now? Also met the fate like the world is lonely. Please live your in Shinobun. Urameshi want or become show you how. Able to or told the envy does not classy. Is become yes you and kun and the like. Hospital is a pity. And Kokoro Guro Shiku is such that there is a secret to the temple without Asobasa no. It is to think you and will become come to interpret only with his non-sincerity. Would you like to write what is your reply? In painful your letter I am to the hard feel. You even if there is anything. I was turned into a human appearance in my to show I'm working Who would had I would like to many things. Quote, when would you say that? Your appearance of the house to be turned away your face in shame was Karen. Face is completely as elegantly beautiful so come tired and thought skinny. But come to know your childish nature. And I become so much you say. I'm there is a point which seems you're most together I think other things. So think also a Bunakushiku future it does not become te. I could not think let something like this saying. Hospital is it because it is painful to think that it would be Obo Shimeshi to not have as asked me. You I think just to even I want you to acknowledge that not frivolous person. Do not become a deeply object to your thinking. You will become your movement to sloppy words of the people. It will my true love is also visible to the shallow ones. Also but will also want to look down on extreme good people of the difference of age with you. Do not it mean that not ashamed to think as I. Hospital only of yours I say in. Because is that now choose this as a happy way. Things like too much ignored the Yojin as I hope becomes the modesty you. Aspiring priest that hoped for a long time. Nor the woman who had thought that my than their own with only a childish religious heart is on the sidelines you to run earlier. Discarded my own greed of this world rather than not for example. The heart is when sports a priest is that thrilled your aspirations of the hospital became entrusted for your immediately or subsequently I did not trace the action. Such as going to leave you. Previously, it is now also the person who appeared to concern has only to not become another priest of the bonds. I do not know what will happen at Nyogo but, because I prince who is day become also your hue. Okamasu I also saw and only can be such as the status of concubines is obtained a position with no trouble if taken to even a problem. Remains of other people who are consequences. I think in these days and gone to the priest together and I have also been to the age of about another nice hospital also will not be in another long come. Become a previous even more your body is weak you will. Because I understand that come a lonely your state. Do not overput your concern. Such as to your ear bad name become now. The world does not have anything. But then that becomes your interfere with the afterlife will be greater your sins. Quote, but it's not the being to blatantly you say. In order to become keenly you preach. Temple just is spilled tears. Even hospital to visit the becomes it crowded Miri unwittingly. Become your cry hand. Other people say these things. I thought it was Rikutsu. There is no need to hear the old man. But I have become a person of better unaware say it. Extra thing to think you that it is an old man to say ringing will become even more unpleasant. Quote, both become your words. Will you rub the ink in your own pull the ink stone? By, for example, become more your paper. But it is what is trying to write a reply. The temple is also handly forte not accustomed to your writing. When that rich each other was Doraemon oversee reply of the letter of which piled the word is to. Think you and would have been written without Sushibura. Also became the sum to have the antipathy to happen. But still in word now allowed to write us an oral instruction and the like. It was useless this month in such a thing it is to become a, you ask. And when the newlywed woman Ninomiya has become your devoted flashy your Higa of you is the wife of an old man going out to competitive I thought that it should be allowed. November would be Kitsuki of your mother. December is to not regards be to Oshitsuma, because you'll also become unsightly of the body. But I think it put to see your appearance after a long time is hell. However, so it does not is to be quickly extended. So much product so as not to think. Become a cheerful mind. First of sigh is healed the lean your face. Quote, it is to say you and the like truly cute were to be oboshi meshi. Doraemon oversee until now to your invitation to become in consultation partner as the person required for any events has been made to have you in the sports hospital. There is nothing of the Lord said only mobs this time of the Pope. Although the people would suspicious one is to become you think. It is also uncomfortable to be seen of their own as an old man who is shamed to come. Is he to see him impossible as come the mind the hospital and the unexpected may no longer become. You think. The people who do not palace visit also another several January. Is the it does not become to ask why. It just of people as supervision Doraemon was a disease lasts. The difference that had been interpreted as because it is absolutely not the year of also music. Other of your event Oroku join. Only left Gen. With something reason no. Because it is impressionable amorous man. Even if not see that it would be there was things like lose the power of self-control in that love. That I had to guess. And exposed it still this much scandals and had I did not imagine. It became in December. 10 among the several days in the Pope and the day as defined for your moth Roku join became busy. To provide, the article hospital of his wife still had not come back as it is. It came back to remember the interest for their Shila of your Higa. Nyogo also was in the home. Was also man the temple became a born at this time of childbirth. Everyone cute Mia like Mrs. Remember the purpose in life to take care one after another. The day of Sheila came Mudaijin wife also to Roku join. Since the left general was allowed to practice of dance to supervise already every day before it in the palace of the northeast. Flower Chisato wife did not come out to see the sights of Sheila. Doraemon solved the hospital and is that which is not trivial regrettable thing is to exclude on the day of the Sheila is to become you think. More than that it is also made to you afraid to pull the suspicious of people. And so come it became toward you use. But the governor and I say that heavy disease did not try to koyo out. But it's not nor is doing that with a name disease to say that the disease. And well there is a point which I think Yamashiku, Kokoro Guro Shiku Oboshi Meshi too. You Mineko become even do also you a special envoy to have been Nasabasa. Father of the minister. I guess you wire decline. What would hospital is I think you. As there is also that it contains me. Because he does not because serious illness. It is better to wreck even if the impossible. Because was the year again came to the place that had been recommended and was wreck while embracing the painful feelings. It was still hours and minutes that do not come together. Such as other high-ranking officials. So far made to put your akazome directed into mistakes of the parloras. Hospital himself also became to come in the back of your living room that are separated by a single mistake. Complexion was bad and very skinny as rumors. Here are almost towards the brother who also gorgeous flashy beauty. But this person is a person who had the goodness to quiet their appearance calm deeply. And samurai in particular meek of only intercession today the appearance. But a man seems to correspondingly be seen as a spouse of a princess. In it uncomfortable that the incorrect of the relationship, hospital and is not folded to not remember the hatred was oboshimeshi. Come and casually became, I did not see you long to you even if there is no opportunity. Long it without any margin has it cared for the sick. The house that's so come from the front to here. To the memorial service to the moth's hospital the woven to say that when a gift is. I have stuck in a variety of failure. It became so late this year. Cannot also be extended anymore. No agreement be of as was previously planned. It is a maid to carry to give a vegetarian festive meal even form only, but very much in say such banquet. Because of the number of children of relatives has also become a lot. It just because things began to like dance of practice I try to put to see any. I think so at least succeed alone it. Beat conjunction cormoran or I try. But to get to the leadership, whom you decided that good to get a look at your care if there is no interest think twice even. Whether good, even your resentment was no longer come it is why it was discarded. Quote, in your state you say to become hospital and although it is not even the place has changed a long time ago. Doraemon oversees the feeling that has changed the complexion while itself felt the shame. Was not able to suddenly, your Stonehenge. Long wife play as I have heard that you will come by for your illness. While I would like to worry. Berry, which was there from before as we come out again and again. To the imperial palace for walking was there difficult go up that is not possible. We are happy to completely lonely life, such as has been isolated from the world, because the hospital will have been reached in the auspicious year. Long-standing of your but first father and if I would like the celebration had been my name for the friendship, than to leave yourself was Heide the Konpaka's dat table. Standing and now it is considered the father that it is reasonable to be organized by both low Chunigan, because the thing that was suggested that we should write to your eyes my sincerity. And I will ask you is to there pushes the oil the biotither then. In there of your how we look as you lonely quiet your life more and more. Things like sports bring you a gorgeous banquet is now Haisatsu whether not only be an excuse me. Your humble your here like plan will be Zan's whether to become a rather your satisfaction. Quote, Doraemon's supervision is Mosu. To not say that was the relationship between the woman Ninomiya the banquet of the day before that was subjected to your eyes with all the delicate that are made of the training of the mind to talk to you for father when is suggesting hospital was oboshimeshi. I am that I am allowed to do it at my place to see that it is a simple to this is. Although I thought there will be some people say categorically worse. To hear your words of understanding. Truly you finally homage is paid to. Admiral also seemed to be a little experience as a government official. Is such as to be such a delicate observation. Would not good at any time as one line useless. Pope although so come through in every art. Control of most music among them because literate is deep. Sunny and even the year priest after so come away to their hospital as I think he will look better. Is Eno, along with that general, to a child to become a hand dance. Pearl River me keep in mind well that knowledge should. Because those inflexible even Iraku in its own gay thing called expert mentor. Such as the wild worship pleased to your appearance of your ordered and nostalgic flavor to become. A hospital also Akasome governor is ashamed. Been considered bad rules. From the heart that are wishing I would like to stand before him as early as a little if you are in Koto Basakuna. Previously among your fine Hanashibori is to not look like a. Finally I found a good time to leave here to wish as expected. Such as the palace in general as a dance hand and the musician had been fully prepared to become a consuming costumes of the Northeast. But also could be those applied by the opinion of Doraemon oversee. In Akazome oversee that communicates deeply in the road because there was Although it's a day of shiluk today, this order only the wives often stay to see the sights. To show you beautiful eyes. On the day of the dance, people costume of moths, but was supposed to wear under kasane calf in bright white horse chestnut. It was allowed to overlap the rouge on the blue color today. Musician 30 of today was a white prone, and the chamber of which lasted corridor to the southeast of the fishing hall to Sagaku room. While the people dance from towards the mountains of the south comes appeared a vestibular had been exhibited effortless called Sonu Haze, and shimmering to snow is falling. Flavor of ponds that branches smile of plum show spring approaching to another next door is visible. Were those good feeling? If there are seats of the hospital in a bamboo blind close to the edge, they're just Shikibu lord of the house is attended your. Only there is a seat to Pai Lan of Udaijin. The following officials are the seat to everyone edge. There had been issued things of entertainment was omitted format. And the fourth son of Udaijin. Left gen. Third son. Ithayo but hooray music and 4 people standing of your childhood of Prince 2 people of the Lord of the Temple is to be danced. Was cute at all small appearance. It is not a mediocre appearance in children of all high aristocracy with 4 people. Little Lord Fauntleroy Uswali to where everyone appeared. Also the second son of the lady-in-waiting belly of General. These 2 men of the Son of Man is now an original is a Governor Hioe at your eldest son of Shikibu, Lord of the Temple, which has become a source Chunigan the Imperial, is the 3rd son of Udaijin, Ryu. Even if the young children of nobles played dance music, such as also in addition to the Luodun Taihiraku Kihararaku of the eldest son of the General, they as cause in sight of mistakes wound up after dark. Yuku subjected to any relish to dance to music. In each of the teacher taught tricks sparing no cute young nobleman of your grandson of the appearance secret, that the show nobody interesting the ingenuity of God has been danced from good genetics. All cute hospital was Oboshimeshi. OL officials had everyone Rakurui. Shikibu Lord of the Temple was also had been impressed as the color of your nose to the tricks of your grandson also changes. Roku join this. It because the day become more and more vigorous. Akazome Governor of Sweets likely to be the embarrassing folded laughing. Years may not be construed advance upside down to make a good cry in accordance with Yuku of the year. Also ye old age is not to escape. You will see the face of the person to say that. It becomes seriously stiffer than anyone. Condition of the body. Not a false also seemed bad. Interesting also to have Doraemon oversee that became a feeling we hardly saw it. Will sit your name. This Seth have entrusted their lives to Sutai although there seemed fun to be. The person is startled chest to Doroi. From not just drink only a little even if the pickup cups have extended the lead. Hospital. Taken to Mitagame. Often from the throne it will be sent you in to have a drink in the samurais. To become Oshi. Also such intercession decline while troubled. Hospital often feel invisible to the ordinary people became you think. Directed Doraemon no longer be bear the pain of mind and body is still returned resigned out before. It ended the feast. Cannot be wake up from a hangover is. Since the frenzy for suffered guilt of sin look witnessing the hospital it will allow. But more does it she was not so timid myself. As it is Doraemon governor rather than the poison of temporary alcoholic became heavy condition and falls asleep. Doraemon's supervision of the parents is the anxiety of is put in elsewhere. The decided to bring back to Jitai. Seemed painful to become come sad one of wife of the temple is also Akazome's supervision. During nothing had happened is Doraemon governor himself, but was a good man enough to have forgotten even without there of the passion that I love you temple, to today's mind, which is feeling the unexpected might farewell in another world as sad as that going to leave you temple, seemed in pain cannot bear as to not push to the lonely man's widow. Also was Mata Inaku also seemed to wither tan. Mia son Koro of your mother's house also it very sad. As a parent, the parent is in the world of practices, positions. Those that your husband and wife are supposed to be, so come to you together when any. What comes is it moved to there. The so comes separately to Nasaro your recovery. Because the thing you poured little for the temple like not may leave thee at least curing here while longer. Quote, this person is, are you a nurse at the only kicho to separated the beds? This is your most for me Godoki's a temple like that was pleased to the marriage. At least I have his hat in mind with the unexpected must be to strive to achieve a significant position in the longevity, is I have become such a sick person. What I love was how much things that I think I end up not able been found in the temple like, among which you have care, such as not Sukakara of another life. I feel, not died as, we have each other to cry and the like, to be trying to mukayo. The mother of his wife to not come even moved immediately once Kazukawashi. If that would why do not you try to koyo to the parent of the place you thought I have to when you are sick, especially among the children of many you want to have around you. If Kurere and across Tanama Shiku although I'm glad to, you're why there forever. Quote, if there is a place most also come to say to you such a thing. Doraemon's supervision were not woven is without sympathy to the mother. It will such because I was born in the beginning most, and had been important, and we still mother kawaigari even if so, because I labored wanted that you are without bubbles in a while. Turn to the other Tanamasu kunai condition when you are not to satisfy the mind that wants to see you mother because it seems that going to be a sin to the world of the future, and anyway move the beds to there. If you have any news that has become another increasingly critically ill, may leave softly come to minister house. See you always again, beg because it nature ones. Worry not stick you think would have been in some cases, such as those not unpleasantly pressed yours will not be sorry. By I do not think is going to end in so short-lived. The day where you conformed to sincerity to the long future was relieved to think as always a certain thing. Quote, if Doraemon governor is my name to the temple, we went moved to Tear's father's house. Mia became Kumbin Koga I think after. And the fuss in the treatment of the sick person in the minister who was to do everything in prayer or other. Disease is not a condition of the worst, just shokuyoku is severely diminished, and did not try to take even the fruit from coming again to hear people who are seen as excellent high-ranking officials that enough of the educated that the world is in regretted that has become something like this Tanamasu kunai condition. There is no people that does not come to offer the sympathy. Come angels also often sympathy from the imperial palace of the Pope from the court. Also to see that or also basa your heartache pathologies oversee Doraemon. Parents seemed just sad. Roku joined be very sorry Oboshimeshi. He was sent down the letter of the often kindness of sympathy to the minister. Since the left general was much less good friends of the relationship. I came to visit maybe to the sickbed. One Adidamashi the Akazome supervision. Your moth Pope became the 25th. Hospital as it is lonely being decisive action when the people of the family clan the star of the high-ranking officials of the current is a serious disease is sunken melancholy is now you think. Extends there is trouble in the monthly it is a thing has been. Because there was also in Bransena Banaro by all means at this year Jew. Was that which is not unavoidable. Hospital was supposed to think you're pathetic the feelings of hemomia. Sometime planning you're in 50 or temple as reading the sutras is first met. Your prayer of Danichi also a temple that is also basa come of the Pope has been made. Thank you for your viewing. If you like please subscribe to the channel. I am very encouraged.